Welcome to Cranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Cranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Hello, hello, hello. YouTube land, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It is Monday, an exciting Monday. Bless up Sanjay Brooks. Owen Richard Green, how you doing? How you doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Decided to do the show a little bit earlier today. I'll make sure I finish before 8:30. A lot to talk about. You know what the title of the show is. I'm going to break it down really thoughtfully and my perspective. I want to get your perspective also. Before I jump into the main topic, though, let me just bless up everyone in the chat. If you haven't become a member of the Cranky Nation, please become a member. We're trying to build a platform here and build a thing, so support the program, Secondly, just finished watching not too long ago the Man U versus Bournemouth game. And I wanted the game to draw for some reason because I'm in this, I wouldn't call it a pool, but we compete. We have a season's competition in terms of trying to figure out who had the most points in the season. And this week was a good week for me. Yeah, Cranky Nation is a new thing. New thing, Owen. Cranky Nation, we name now. Cranky Nation. A nation is uppercase. Owen, uppercase. Come on, some merchandise with them thing upon it too. Bless up Marvin Carter. Bless up Tycoon. Tycoon. Now come back to you, Tycoon. Come back to you. I'm gonna forget you. So I was in the pool and I was doing really well. I think I lost 2 games this weekend. I lost the Newcastle Sunderland game. I had as a draw game and they have an own goal. And I think I lost the which other game did I lose? The Spurs game. Spurs getting destroyed by Nottingham Forest. I didn't see that one coming. But I think I won all the other games actually. Well, I wouldn't say won the games, but yeah, I won the games because I had the either the right score or the right outcome in terms of who's going to win, lose, or draw. So I should be in first place now or second place in that pool. So that's good. I love competition, by the way. So anything I can get to compete in, if it's dominoes over there it is, I'd love to compete. And interesting game today. I think Man U lost the chance to go tied for 4th with Chelsea, or maybe just out on points or something. They drew the game. A lot of goals. Man U could have put the game away in the first half. They were just running rampant. They looked like an explosive team, and then Bournemouth came back. Sanjay says, why does this look so small? Hold up, Sanjay. That's Cranky. I was watching the Bournemouth game. Tavernier plays over in the midfield. I Google him and Google. Yes, Tycoon sent me that today, actually. Tycoon sent me something saying Tavernier is Jamaican parentage by his mom's side. I think Tycoon says he has a relative in England who informed him that Tavernier. So if you're from the JFF, even though I know you don't recruit, you should go. His brother also captains Rangers. I didn't know they were Jamaican descent, actually. But I know Tycoon had brought up to me sometime today, actually. He sent me information. So I'll contact somebody and ask if they want to look into it. See what happens. I think he would do well in the 10. He scored a good goal today, but he's a lethal left foot. A lot of speed, meaning quickness. A lot of endeavor, run all game. Quality. Kind of surprised that we don't know about him, but I'm not surprised. The JFF has no recruiting mechanism to identify any player of any quality to come to the team. Trust me. They just go by hearsay, and Devon Porter, who was always out there, and other people. But Devon will go look up grandmother, grandfather, all sort of stuff. I don't know how much Simon does nowadays. I think he's more caught up being media mogul than recruiting, actually. But JFF don't recruit. And the new coach don't recruit either. But I know that new coach know about recruiting. Cranky fret not, Speid will not. Well, I'm not giving away any secret. He's been saying that he's focused on having the best team, which then means getting the best players. In fact, let me just say that. He's told me that. Let me stop saying, because I'm not divulging any secret. He has said to me, not communicated. Okay, he might give me a hard time with it. Him said to me that, when I divulge no secret, that he understands I'm going to put it in my term. That's what him said, word for word. He understands the environment he operates in, but he wants the best player in his team. All right? I haven't spoken to him lately, but he wants the best player in his team. So my assumption is, if that's the case, then he's going to try to pursue the best players. Now, does he know how to do so? I think that's another story. I'm not sure he knows how to do so. And we're going to go through that today, people, because it's very important. It's very important. So I'm going to go through that today. But enjoy the weekend. I didn't enjoy Arsenal game on Saturday. I thought we were, how could I describe us? Beyond atrocious. I mean, as bad as you can get, people. As bad as you can get. If Wolves weren't so generous, we probably could have lost that game, much less win the game. We create nothing. I watch everybody. And granted, they were playing more low block, mid block throughout the game. But we can't. We bought a lemon. You know? Look like we have so far. I judge people too early, but look, we buy a lemon, people. We want back the money. We buy a lemon. We give back the money. Buy a lemon. Lemon can't turn. We buy the Titanic. Titanic can't turn, people. It can't turn. Now see Titanic turn, it broke down. And your Titanic turn, it broke up. If we bring Jesus in there, Titanic can't turn. Saka did good, but it don't look like scoring. He wasn't close to scoring. Martinelli was searching for money on the ground as usual. The one time they had to go by somebody, he put it outside. We have to figure out the offense. It's not looking good. Trossard was brilliant, by the way. I thought Trossard came on, not in terms of him scoring, but his passing, making passes in difficult situation, finding his man. He found Gokras once. Gokras is the Titanic, by the way, Kirk James. It shouldn't be hard to figure out. I think he's going to lose his game back today. I think he's going to lose his space in the team. One said, we have a problem with Teta. Any team in a low block with a good shape cannot break them. Well, I don't think he knows how to manage game 1-1. Like I've been telling people, I was talking to I said it the other day, I was talking to a coach, a known coach actually the other day, and was saying the same thing. I didn't disagree with me, which is his game management is atrocious. Like atrocious. I said the other day, when we played Villa passed the ball through the first and second line of defense for all game long to find Ali Watkins, and we're going to make no change. We still have press deep and then beat the press easy. And he doesn't know how to adapt during games. Probably a brilliant coach on the training field. It seems that way, the pattern we play and how we play. But our players will get injured because they work really hard, everybody in the team. That's why they're pulling up nowadays, because they got to run back. But the creativity part, because we always recycle the ball and we play slow. Watch Man U play today. And even though I have a difficult time dealing with Bruno Fernandes, who's a crybaby, like biggest crybaby. He can play football. I'll give him that much. He can play football. Biggest crybaby in Gaza. He just gets on your nerve with his whining. But he can play. And he scored a brilliant goal today. Tavernier goal was a good goal, but I think the wall needs to. You can't score to the wall. I know Bromont was in the wall and got out. You can't score the wall. But the people took their chances today, which is something forwards need to do. People took their chances really well. Bournemouth could have scored about 2 late, but Mane could have scored about 4 in the first half. But that's my discussion. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking EPL, because I came here to talk Reggae Boyz today and talk about. So I was sent a video by about 4 people. 4 people. It was an interview that was had by Rudolph Speid with, I'm going to pull it up. Rudolph Speid had an interview with Richie B Radio. Can I find that? Did I get rid of it? Richie B Radio. I gotta send it to myself. With Richie B Radio, and I thought the people sent me most of the people who sent it to me said this was a really good interview, and Richie B did a good job, and I listened to the interview. So if you're in the chat and you thought Richie B did a good job, I'm gonna dissect the interview, people. Take notes. I'm gonna get pen and take notes. Or press record on the phone. Take notes, people. Listen to the interview, and then I'm gonna dissect the interview. And you can tell me if Richie B did a good job when we're done. Because it's important. This was Rudolph Speid talking about a number of different matters. His why he has the credentials to be the coach for the national team, his coaching methodology, somewhat, his corporate experience, which informs his coaching and enhance his resume, allow him to be in this position, how he operates. He addressed the question about conflict of interest, and people may not beat the one to death. May not spend enough time on the one there, because he gave what seems to be a resounding, well-constructed, well-rehearsed answer. So I'm gonna decipher that conflict of interest response, and then make up in the mind when we're done talk about it, because it was really interesting. He talked about a number of things. It was about a 20-minute interview, so bear with me. I normally try to play I do a different way of doing this. Sometimes I play it and then respond. I'm not going to do that. I'll play the entire 20 minutes. It's a good listen. And then I'm going to break it down. I'm going to go through it in detail. And part of the rationale is, based on that interview and based on how you assess someone who's going to be into that role, supposedly an interim, but with I think some aspirations or ambitions to assume the role on a more long-term basis. You tell me when it's done and when I break it down, if that's the person for the role, and he's going to be the savior and allow us to get to the World Cup, or he's going to be a total, disaster, as I put there, right? So before I do that, let me take some other comments and then I'll jump into it. Trevor says, Cranky, as much as I won't want Speid to be the interim coach, he's also lessons learned how to bring a better result for the team. That's it. I think he can make a difference. Okay. We'll go through it. You can't tell me that we're done. One was I watched Cavaliers yesterday. They played horrible, long ball after long ball, embarrassing as coach of a national team. Kick and run football. Wouldn't win. It's more of a booster to showcase speed. Okay. Well, we'll see how that works out. We work well. Tycoon says, Speid and coaching staff needs to set up fundamental process. Coaching players also having people with good communication skills to convince players. Yeah, I mean, all that are good suggestion, Tycoon. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Because I ain't hear nothing about on scouting. All I hear about is Reggae Boyz being part of the staff around with Coley, right? I didn't hear anything about on scouting. So let me play the, I thought I had it on my board here. Let me play it off my phone. So please don't call while I'm playing this, because I'm playing it with my phone. I was going to do it through my computer, but I don't trust my computer doing it that way. Let me play it with my phone, and then we can have the conversation. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Just type yes or no in the chat. We're going to listen for 20 minutes. I'm going to take notes while you're taking notes, and then we're going to go through it. All right? So listen up.
Welcome to the Richie B Morning Show and to the big story, where this morning we can tell you that Rudolph Speid has now been appointed as the interim head coach of Jamaica's Reggae Boyz, replacing Steve McLaren, who resigned after the team's failure to automatically qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Speid, who is currently the chairman of the JFF Technical Committee, will lead the team through the World Cup intercontinental playoffs with Miguel Coley as his assistant. His appointment is effective from December 15, 2025 to March 31, 2026. I'm very, very pleased to have Rudolph Speid with us this morning. Good morning, Ruddy. How are you doing today, my brother?
I'm good, Richie. I'm really good. Thanks for having me.
All right, our pleasure. And I want to ask you right off the bat, Ruddy, Rudolph, what inspired you to take on this very challenging role, and what do you hope to achieve with the Reggae Boyz going forward?
Right. So challenge is probably my middle name. I love a challenge. The world would be so boring if you just got up under the same things over and over that you have been doing for years. So I wasn't forged in football though. My challenges were, as you know, from Portland. It was all the way to the top of the Gleaner Company Group. I was the FC on the black man to ever hold that position still.
Yes.
So just to give you an idea of what my challenges were, when I was discovered in a tree reading a book and brought to the Gleaner the next day. So you could imagine my challenge at the lowest point to be the second in command.
Yes.
Sitting in boardrooms with like the Mataland, the Janice, the Douglas O'Reilly, and the Oliver Clarks. That's what forged me as a person. They are challenging every single month. They are challenging, some of the most challenging people you'll ever see. And that is really what forged me. So running, whenever there's danger or a challenge, I just run to it. Actually, I was trained to do that.
I know a lot of people are surprised when they hear that because it's not something that you speak about often. And I guess it's a case kind of, if you know, you know, but you have in fact risen in corporate world pretty much right up to the top. Now, this is a very challenging position, obviously. At this stage, what is going through your mind in terms of how you might want to prepare the team for these crucial playoff matches that are coming up in March 2026? What's your thought process like, even at this stage, Rudolph?
Well, I just thought that there's enough blame to go around for everybody. Myself have to take some of the blame, being the chairman of the technical committee, the coach, the players. There's a lot of blame to go around as to the reason why we didn't qualify, because I think we should. Was probably the easiest passage. The match weren't easy, but the passage was, because you could have gotten harder teams to play. And I thought that, if we just had approached it differently, I think we would have been there. And so some of those things that went wrong, those are the things I'm planning to actually wipe out before it starts up. Because I'm a planner, and I think I'll be able to do it successfully. This competition is harder to qualify now, right? But no pressure. No pressure.
The naysayers are going to be saying, if you were already a part of the coaching setup with Steve, then why should they feel that it won't be just a matter of continuation of the very same strategies and so on that were there before? Do you think that you can make a marked difference in terms of approach to the game and in terms of approach to the coaching from Steve that will be identifiable?
Steve, I was there as a advisor, not the coach. I was never in a coaching capacity. I was there to advise him about Caribbean teams, what they like to do, trends, because I have a lot of experience playing in the Caribbean from the CONCACAF Club Championships. So, but I was there to assist, not insist. So if he asked for my advice, I give it. If he didn't ask, then he probably don't need it. But I will still give him advice. Some he took, some he didn't. But at the end, it was always his decision, the final decision. That was never compromised at the point in time.
So at this stage, are you able to say, some of the specific changes that you believe are needed to sort of shift the team from where it was to where it needs to be? What value-added techniques will you provide that were previously missing in the other dispensation?
So my approach to the game, after I left corporate, I'm still in corporate, but after I left that job that had 20 companies, and it was just, I had to run 20 companies in USA, Canada, England, just to kind of help people. Running the Sangster bookstores, we had a ship at one time, we had a lot of various companies. So you can understand the racetrack, we used to run the publication there. You can understand how complex that was. Since I left that job, right? I spend more time on football because I have more time to really hone my skill. And people would have known what I've done in the last 5 years since the pandemic. Won 3 Jamaica Premier League, came second once out of 4 the other time. I was third. Won the Caribbean Cup, came second the other time with the youngest professional team in the world. I look at football very different from everybody else. I look at it as a problem to be solved. That is how I approach it. And with my knowledge, that is what I'm going to do. Look at the opposition. Here is a problem in front of me, and I have solved some huge problems before that that makes football dwarf. So that is how I'm approaching it. What is it I have to do to win the game because I can, with my training, as you know, I'm doing a pro license course. That's the highest qualification in football.
Yes.
So in my training, I understand what teams bring, and I know what is likely to have to be done to defeat them. Now, there's no guarantee, but I can assure you that we'll be giving it everything we got. Focused, discipline. You know, I am a disciplinarian, and my record speaks for itself. I am a winner. I understand how to win things.
There is a view that you will have a major challenge within the team itself in terms of bringing sort of a united team to represent Jamaica going forward. You know, maybe problems that exist, or maybe things are being blown out of proportion. I'm not certain within the dressing room and even among supporters. Do you plan to engage players who are, say, part of the Craig Butler camp, for instance, and you know that Craig is one of your harshest critics? And what will you tell the public in terms of your approach to the players that come from that camp, Rudolph?
And I understand why he's one of my harshest critics. It's difficult for you to be playing somebody for 25 years and you never win a game, neither practice game, real game, or any type of game. I mean, I understand why he would be critical. But as I said, and when he came out to the Liquor Boy Leagues and jumped up to the Premier League, his team came last with 5 rounds to go. And I'm sure he's going to be struggling at the end of this one too. So I understand you're looking up every day at somebody who is just winning and winning 60 titles. I win every single title you could think of. Business House, Youth League. You just name the league and I go and win it, right? With the youngest people. So I understand his frustration that he has. But as I said before, every coach wants to win. I don't care how the job is being done. I will call players who are deserving of a spot, and I will never, ever victimize anybody. But you see, my records don't say that about me, because if you think I cherry pick player, how come I win 60 titles? That's not the record of a coach who cherry pick players, who win. Well, that is a record of a coach who picks players to get the job done. What do you think?
All right. That's an interesting narrative that you just put forward. But I don't want to put you on the spot, as you used the term spot earlier, but I really want to ask specifically as it relates to, say, Whisper and Leon Bailey, who are now both fit as far as we have been told, or as we have heard. Will they be an integral part of your setup going forward as you're seeing it right now?
Well, I am not the coach to give anybody to say you are a shoo-in. Okay, what does that do? The person just performance drop by. It's a known fact, These are things that we study. If players know that they are a shoo-in, what is their performance gonna be? No. Everybody has to be. This is not a game to develop. This is a game where I have to go with the players who are ready to sacrifice everything for the team. That's the mindset I want from every player. So if those players are willing to do that, that's the players I'm going to pick. I'm not going to single out anybody and say you are in and you are in. That's not my style. My style is to pick the best players available to deal with the situation. And incidentally, they are very good players. I mean, there's no two way about it. But I'm not going to be naming 2 players and say, yeah, well, you're in, and tell the rest of the players, I don't know if you. That's not even good football
strategy.
It's a good football strategy. No.
Yeah. Okay. Now, are you looking at getting new players involved at this stage? I hear names being bandied about. Are you?
This is a knockout. If I see a player and he's new, I'm going for him. I want to get the best player. I am not against Mason Greenwood. I've said it before. If we lift up the chartered flight and then I hear that he's on the tarmac, I am telling the pilot to turn back and go for him. I want the best players available to represent Jamaica, players who I know can do the job. This is not a development series. It's 2 knockout games. I have to have the best players who are ready to do the business right out.
What do you think is really needed, Rudolph, to have the best possible outcome in these matches come March? If I could get an answer from you on that.
Well, I think, we have players, who are passionate, very passionate. I'm not hiding from it because it's something that you have to, you can see that some of the local players are very passionate, but at the same time, some of the overseas based players have the skills, but probably not have the same passion. So that is the balance that we need. The passion to everybody and the better skill players with better skills. If we can get the players to reach right there, at optimum, I think that's the best way for us to qualify the team for the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about the team that you intend to assemble. Already we know that Miguel Coley is a part of the setup. Let's start with him. What role do you see him playing in the team, and who else are we likely to see as part of your team?
Well, he's the first assistant, so he's next to me.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, by the rules of every good, well-developed coaching organization, which means that we'll have other help, but he and I would have the last conversation on everything. So that is it. So if there's a issue about anything, it will be Mr. Coley and myself will talk last.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody views you'll hear, but at the end of the day, both of us make the final decision. So we have him in place. His contract is signed. He's locked in. So there's no turning back with him.
Okay.
We also have a former Reggae Boy goalkeeper coach. I can't tell you what his name is as yet, but he's also locked in.
Mm-hmm. I doubt it would be Lawrence, though.
Why wouldn't it be?
Oh, I thought he was. I thought I saw where he was. Was it Lawrence who was criticizing you harshly recently, or was it another goalkeeper?
I don't think it's Lawrence. But you see, I'm not the type of person to even carry a grudge.
Okay.
Because I have seen players who have done that before. I know they talk to me almost every day. I don't care about those things. I don't know what their thing was, but once they start to talk to me, mm-hmm. and I explain certain things to them, is a different argument. So it's a lot of emotions and ignorance some of the time. Mm-hmm. Why there's some distractors. But once they talk to me and them usually good after that. So yeah, there's 2 more Reggae Boys that we're working on. We have tacit agreement with them, mm-hmm. former Reggae Boys, that they will come. What I need them to help with some of the on-field training, yes, because their tech would have been so good. So that's really the plan, that we have to fill out the gaps in the technical area. Of course, we have a...
Go ahead.
No. And then, we're talking to somebody, we have a guy, Kyle, that does the analysis, and we're talking to somebody else. So I think we are ready for the 2 games. They are really focused. We know who our opponents are. We're going to get working. We start already scouting.
Okay. People were wondering, because he came out publicly and said he's hoping to be back with the team, whether or not Rene Simoes might play a role in your setup. Is that being considered any at all?
No.
All right. Now, while you're here, Ruddy, I know that you hear talk, and I'm sure that you're willing to address these issues. The matter of you being JFF Technical Committee chairman and now coach, do you see any kind of conflict of interest whatsoever in having these dual roles at this time?
Of course, there's conflict. I never told anybody that I don't have any conflict. People just hear what they want to hear. But let me just digress a little. So the President of the United States have a lot of conflicts, right? The richest man, what's his name? He was in Doge and he had a lot of conflicts. The Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition, maybe they should resign from their constituencies because they have different posts. You check the JTA, all those people in civil society, JTA, the Police Service Commissions, auditor, the Legal Bar Association, all of those associations, the Parents Teacher Association, all of those persons would have been elected to posts, and they are also appearing who are a teacher or a lawyer or whatever it is. So conflicts is all over Jamaica, right? And I acknowledge that I have. But so is a million other everybody in football. They all have conflict. They have clubs, they have parish presidents, they are all of these things, and at the JFF at the same time. So the JFF came up with conflict of interest policies, which we adhere to. So if something that concerns you, you excuse yourself. There's a conflict of interest register which I've signed, and FIFA come and audit it every year. As I said before, I'm a member of, I have to report to the FSC because I'm a trustee. The trustee, I have to report to BOJ because I am a head of a credit union. So we all know that these conflicts arise. I'm also a member of the credit union, I'm the head of it. So we know these conflicts are everywhere. First Association of Jamaica, they have officers too, so the conflicts are there. But there's a way to manage it. Yeah. Everybody have managed, and I have managed myself. I am one of the most monitored person in the whole wide world. I just told you who I have to report to all the time.
Yes.
And I've done all my reports. Cavalier pays tax is the only club in Jamaica that pays taxes, regardless of what anybody say. We file returns, all of those things, right? Because I'm that type of person to make sure that everything I obey the law all the time. And rules and regulation.
All right.
So for the chair of the finance committee, I kept my last meeting yesterday.
Yes.
Right? The JFF was a board meeting today. That's my last board meeting. So I will not be making any decisions about football for the next 3.5 months. I will not go to board meetings. I will not even take the minutes. I will not chair the technical committee. My focus is just on one thing, and carry the team to the World Cup.
Do you see yourself, potentially holding it down as a permanent position should the team do well and advance to the World Cup? Are you looking that far?
Well, I am being positive that it will go to the World Cup. And if it does, I would like to go to the World Cup as a coach. But I don't see myself as being the coach at the national team on a long-term basis. I have a lot of other things I want to achieve in life. I'm not so young anymore. So, but I love coaching, to some respect, but I think it's more medium term than long term.
Okay. I just wanted to put this one in before you go, Rudolph. As a coach, which other coach do you sort of maybe try to emulate or has significantly influenced you and your coaching prowess through the years?
So I like Sir Alex Ferguson, and I'm not a Manchester United fan. I don't even like him personally, but I see he has a winning mentality, and that is what I try to figure out. I read all his books, how he has done it. But when I was doing my A license course, the coach that I really studied was Richard Williams, the coach of Venus and Serena Williams. Because I have a theory that talent is just a start. Venus and Serena, nobody know. They didn't play tennis. Nobody in their family played tennis. They didn't even know about tennis. The coach just saw tennis being played on the TV by Regina King and said, my girl's going to be the best at the sport. And started early, hard work, dedication, and figure out how to get there. And I studied him more than any other coach to figure out how could he perform such a miracle. And I suppose those are two coaches that inspire me.
In closing, what are your final comments to whether players, the fans, just general comment? I'll give you 60 seconds to just give us a wrap before you go, Rudolph.
Yeah, I think at this stage where we are, we needed a coach to really that knows the players already, and I've been around the players, for about nearly a year. I also think that players, if you're coming, when we send the invitation to and you're coming, please just give us 100% because that's what the public demands, that's what the public needs. And myself, as a person who take care of problems, I'm going to be on the A game to try and bring it home for Jamaica. I think Jamaica needs this as a joy after the hurricane passage. I think Jamaica needs something, and this would be the best gift for Jamaica.
We're depending on you and the team. From one Titchfield Pass student to another. Congratulations again, Rudolph, and best wishes going forward.
Thank you.
Where do I start? I have a lot to unpack. I hit me on them. I feel good. Hit me on them, start. I have enough to unpack. I'm going to do it sequentially and chronologically. If I can find them, let me do it sequentially and chronologically and go through this in detail. Let me take some of the comment first before we jump in at this. You know what? I'm making no comment first before we jump in at it. Not take no call yet to people. We have enough to go through. I go through the whole thing. Let me take some comment first. I'm jumping out. Jay says, see why this man said football to play midfield because a tennis coach in my father. Hit and run football. Everybody have follow the tennis thing. No, man, I learn from everybody. We're not giving a lot of time about that. I think it's a good thing if you learn from other people in other sports and other disciplines. Thought that was interesting, actually. I learned from scratch. Somebody named Richie B, who looks like a radio personality in Jamaica. Man, twang more than me, I thought me twang. Man, twang more than me. I've got to get some Richie B twang in school. Twang well. And by the way, in calling him Rudy, me people at Jamaica call Rudolph Mr. Speid. So you know, if I Rudy, a body thing. So inside my past Titchfield, I think Rudolph got Pitchfield too. So yeah. And by the way, when him say Rudolph, don't talk about his corporate experience alignment. I know him now it's the Rudolph in other environment. Rudolph talked about his corporate experience quite a bit actually in time at Gleaner. Almost most interviews. All right, I'm start. I'm talking enough. I'm start. So the question, so Richie B asked him, why take the role? And he mentioned that he loves a challenge. He loves a challenge, and in his role as FC for the Gleaner, so FC is a financial controller, meaning the highest ranked finance person in the company who handles finance, right? So he was a financial controller for, he says, Gleaner have 20 companies, obviously headquarters in Jamaica, and he was the main man who talked about the money. So that's his experience. I think he's a chartered accountant, actually. So that's his experience. So he believes that given all the challenges you have in corporate and the skills that you have learned, he can leverage those skills to help him as a football coach. And that's what he's going to do. And he views it as just another problem to be solved, and he's going to solve the problem. All right, so we'll go through in detail the questions. Not sure the two equates, but there are skills to be leveraged from the corporate environment to translate into anything in life, whether even personal relationship or sports. So I don't disagree with that concept and that idea, but I think he has bitten off a little bit more than he can chew, but we'll go through it. So we're going to talk about his methodology, his leadership style, his governance, but I'm going to do it in detail the way he had it, the questions were asked. And when you are going through it, you should have listened for how he leads, how players are discussed, and how he framed preparation, right? Those are things that you should have been listening for in the conversation. Leadership, players, discussion, or engage with players, and how he's going to prepare, because we're trying to get to the World Cup, right? And accountant versus Congo. All right, Odell. Don't this accountant them, come here one. Now this way. We know we are done. Now, I'll observe, I'll do, before I go to the detail, some observation. Rudolph is very confident. He's very assertive. And he speaks in absolutes. But you have to understand something, people. Leadership is not only about certainty. Leadership is about connection. So go back to the interview and listen if you hear anything about connection. When you hear about leaders, they build relationships, they engage, or do you see them enforce authority? Because the best leaders, have the relationship, especially in staff, so they can jump through a wall for you. Right? You want the people them to run through a big, you're going to talk about a coach run through a big wall for a coach. You want that. But let's go to the question. How will he prepare the team? He first went into proactive management of the situation, which is there's enough blame to go around. Right? And they should have approached things differently. And he's going to wipe out what went wrong. And he agrees that it's harder now to qualify than before. So unless you get so here's the thing. The coaching, the administration, the players determines the outcome, success or failure. Now, the coaching would have to be better and the players would have to be better. If you agree, it's a more difficult route to get to the World Cup. So by default, he's basically saying he's better than McLaren. And by default, he's got to recruit some good players because the ones he had were not good enough. Now, when he's saying enough blame to go around, what I haven't really heard, what I heard is, so if you're a leader, you hear people talk about the person who runs, supposedly the number one world leader, whatever his name is. People talk about him, but he never takes accountability for anything. It's always fake or somebody else owns it. He never owns it. If you're the head of the food chain, so if you are the ones who de facto run the JFF, is the leader, is the head of technical committee, is on the board, is the chair of the finance committee, or in that role, then you have to say, and you're the technical advisor, your chair technical committee, so you're a board member, finance committee member, technical chair, and your technical advisor, because you went in, because you weren't comfortable with things, then you have to assume that you are responsible for this. You failed the nation. You need to own it. That's why you're trying to fix it. But what you do is you deflect. You deflect to others, and you, from what I hear in all the interviews, you haven't demonstrated that accountability and assumed that responsibility, that you were the main architect of this, and therefore you failed. Because you wouldn't have gone as technical advisor unless you were uncomfortable after the Gold Cup. And also, I don't know why you wouldn't have let go of the coach if things weren't going the right way. If you believe something should have been done approached differently, is it later in the process? Is it when that's where interviewing comes in. Where in the process did you realize things were going wrong? And why didn't you fix it? Because people, let me just tell you this, because we talked about this. Any coach who worked them salt, who telling me that they select 2 midfielders to go to a competition, may I fire them right away. Fire them right away, may I fire them. Especially if they've been with me for a year, may I fire them. Can't deal with you. 2 midfielders to go competition. 2. You were there and then you say, oh, me no own that. Me, you go up and read this, you don't own that. Really? You were there, you're around, you have influence. You got when you play in the team. And you say you don't own that. That don't make no sense to me, people. That's deflecting. That don't make no sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. And then the man went and stick up the joint when he go play play in the Gold Cup, and you still keep him around. You hear me here advocating this man should go, right? Well, I think you guys are missing triple. We come to this triple S, guys. You guys, I think you're confused about something, but what changes need to be made. But we'll go through it. Now let's go to another question. What was asked, which is, what will you do differently than what was done before? And as usual, he becomes a rapper. He's there to advise. No, he's not a technical advisor. As he normally says, he was there to assist, not insist. I don't know any boss anywhere who doesn't insist. Then you're not a boss. You're a boss too. Bosses insist. Our boss don't even have to insist. Their present create insisting. They create an environment where, you know what? If it please me, if I get him opinion, and I get opinion, if me deny my opinion, me have to make sure me can determine why may I do it and how may I do it, because there are repercussions to it. So if you are the boss, and we know you're the boss, and you say, you know, insist, you assist. So therefore, you're not culpable. That's how you get the accountability and culpability now. You're not culpable. So you can say that, so you can get away with it. It's really interesting. Now, he said he was there because he knows CONCACAF and he knows the region. That's why he became an advisor. I will say, based on what I saw and how I assess it, he was there because he didn't trust the coach. I don't know if you don't know CONCACAF region. And secondly, maybe in Jamaica don't realize this. And almost so you follow football know this by heart. A lot of players who played in that competition, even for Bermuda, a lot of players who play in our zone in the 6th game ain't played in CONCACAF per se. I play MLS, I play Russia. The whole Curacao team, apart from Chong and Chong, play at Europe. Now I starting playing a Curacao team, not playing in a CONCACAF. So you going to know them? Where you provide to the discussion? Where you provide to the environment? You don't know them. They don't play against your club team. You don't coach a national team. Or you don't know them. This false notion that I'm there because I know the players, that's nonsense. Not buying that. You're there to be an overseer. You're there to maybe insist in your own way, not just assist. I'm not buying that, people. If you don't know the players because they don't play in your region, they're not playing in Cibao in the Dominican Republic. They're not playing Defense Force in Trinidad. They don't play for those teams. Maybe a couple of Trinidad players do. But a lot of players are from different clubs in different parts of the world. You didn't know them. So then there was no value then. Then what value? Here's what I'm not being asked. What value did you add? Where did you add value that resonated? What value did they have? You're here to assist, not insist. Explain to me what your role that was defined and how you executed that role and what positive outcome we got from that role. Because we failed, so there's no positive outcome. Then he was asked what specific changes needed. He referred to corporate, where he ran 10 companies. He talked about accomplishment in the Caribbean. Look at a problem to be solved. We look at what needs to fix the problem. He'd be focused and used winners. So let me just say this, people. As I said, I think you can leverage from corporate. There's nothing wrong with that. Two things, well, actually, which is very important. First of all, he has never, listen to this, people. He's never won a game outside the Caribbean. He's played 2 times outside. He's won in Jamaica. Give him kudos. Dominate Jamaica. Number 10th league in this region. If you think about mixed Latin America, North America, Central America, the JPL is ranked 10th in the region. 10th. That's after a league in Guatemala. That's after a league in Honduras. 10th. Mexico, Costa Rica, the US. 10th. Right? We have about 31 teams in that region. Most of like St. Kitts and St. Lucia don't really matter. Right? He dominated in the Caribbean. He hasn't won a game. Not only that, in CONCACAF, his team has not scored a goal against a CONCACAF team when they play in the Caribbean Championship, and they play outside the Caribbean. So yes, he's won the Caribbean. His team has not scored 1 goal in 4 games. Them lose 10-0 in 4 games. They don't score a goal. So that dominance. So if you want to see your international, it came with the Caribbean. So you got to show what your international accomplishments are, being a local coach who coach a team that has a chance to play in the region. We just talk about this region, we're not talking about outside North America region and Central America and the Caribbean. His team has not scored a goal. So I don't know what that achievement entails and how it relate to and align with the requirements of the current role, given who we're playing, because we're playing outside the Caribbean. We're playing outside the entire region. We're not playing in North America. We're not playing in the Caribbean. We're not playing in Central America. We have played a team from Oceania, and we have played a team who was in the African Cup of Nations and who made the World Cup by overcoming Cameroon and Nigeria, 2 teams full of EPL and big team players. But anyway, so that accomplishment to equate to the role, if you want to talk about role not, the only coach in Jamaica can talk about his accomplishment and role with more now. Because now him win the Caribbean Championship. So if not win not with Mount Pleasant outside the game because him accomplish what Speid accomplished. Now Speid do it 2 times. Him do it 1 time. But he has gone to the final with Jamaica team and gone to semi-final. He has international coach. He play against Mexico. He play against Honduras. So Whitmore is the only coach in Jamaica can beat him chest and say I'm the best coach. Anybody else to tell you that? And not true them attack. Don't be fooled. No, yes, Rudolph did a great job of winning the JPL with babies, kids. So you can say, you know what, Mount Pleasant have resources, then buy up every single player. So they must win at some point. Whitmore still have international experience. And he's done it with teams dominated by local players and team with a bunch of overseas players. So he does it both ways, right? But Rudolph also has not done it with teams where you and I watch a football and say, yeah. So we talk about corporate success. Yes, he's done well at Gleaner, financial controller. He's done well in his personal life. But I don't think corporate success, although it's real and should be respected, football governance is not exactly the same thing as corporate achievement. Because governance isn't just about can you do the job or no. Here's another question, people, in governance. Who checks you? Because when I'm a financial controller, I'm running things, you know. Who can question you? Who can overrule you? And can the public trust your process? And I'm not sure about that. But in football, these players, especially the ones who play outside Jamaica, you get respect as a coach if you're credible. You have to be credible. Will these players respect him enough? And we'll get into that, because that's important. Will they respect him enough? He was asked what specific changes are needed. And he mentioned, obviously, his corporation and the Caribbean and all that. He was also asked, does he plan to be open in selecting players? I think that's an interesting one. Now, I will say this. I was very disappointed in this answer. Very disappointed. Does he plan to be open in selecting players, including those for Toxic Boss? And if you don't know what Toxic Boss is, I can't tell you. If you don't know what Toxic Boss is, I can't tell you. I can't help myself with that. If you do better, I mean, I'll do better what him do. But I have to do that. The people diss me, I can't respect them. Anyway, he said he beat Toxic Boss easily. And I'm going to put it in my words. He's basically saying Toxic Boss envious of him and beat him easily every single time he's playing. But he did say that he's going to call players who deserve a spot. He did say he's impartial in selecting players. And that's a good point, right? I like that. But let me just say this about that. He had an opportunity, and maybe I would do the same thing, but just to tell you, if you're a leader and you're a coach and you're in a new role, he had an opportunity to take the high road. He did. He could have easily said, without even mentioning Toxic Boss, he know them have big conflict them in a court. All he could have said is that, look, I'm impartial in selecting players, like he said. I'm going to select the best players for the team. Regardless of the background of players and who have managed them previously, I'm about winning. I'm going to select the best players. And those two are good players. I move on. You know, what tell you, saying destroy the man and beat him. Because I saw him see him, if you stamp on him head and crush him and then move on. If you're a leader, if you're comfortable in your own skin, if you're comfortable in your resume, all you have to say, you know what? I know what I've done. I know what I've achieved. I'm a player's coach. My players respect me. And move on. But no, he might beat the man before he move on. He was asked, are you sourcing new players? He said he want the best players available. Now, I will say this, because we have had some previous engagement. He's reiterated that. I've heard him in different forums say the same thing. He wants the best players. Now, I'm not sure what that means, because he then went on to, when he was asked, what is needed to win? Have players who are passionate, and those are local players, and then players who have ability, or technical players. Now, let me say some people, because I hear this. I've been hearing this. A word come on my mouth. I mean, I don't want to say it because it's not a good word. I've been hearing this narrative. Oh, that's a better word. I want to say something about crass word, but narrative about local players are more passionate and the overseas players are not passionate. And I'm very shocked that Rudolph come said to see him. I'm drinking some water, people. Come if you cuss, not tell online. Give a cuss. Hold up. Rudolph said the same thing me here upon Look a Sharpman radio station. Rudolph, I'm going to stop it. I can name, every player you can name who local and passionate, I can name one who foreign and passionate, who born overseas and passionate, sorry, and vice versa. If you want to use how you play as the criteria and the optics to judge passion versus non-passion. Sunderland played Newcastle this weekend. None of Sunderland's starting players are English. None, led by Granit Xhaka, who we know is not English. None. Yet there were 9 yellow cards in that game. The passion was everywhere. And some of them players, they come from Congo too. 2 of them from Congo, like Enrico. So you want to tell me you have to be English to have passion for the rivalry between Sunderland and Newcastle? And especially a lot of these kids grew up in Jamaican household and love Jamaica. Some of them don't know much about Jamaica, but a number of them do. And them have Jamaica plug, and them have Jamaica this, and them have Jamaica belt and all something. So they have to be, they can't be professional. They're professional. What does passion have to do with the slice of bread when you play football? You play for win. Of course, people have passion, but passion is not the overwhelming criteria and factor that determines the outcome. You have to have ability. Now, he basically dissed the local players by saying they have passion, but the overseas players' ability. But it was under on the disc, and people don't seem to realize that. Very interesting. Now, he mentioned the coaching staff, right? He mentioned the coaching staff. Cooley, 2 Reggae Boyz, a goalkeeper coach. So what we're seeing is a move to a more localized coaching setup for all the teams in Jamaica. We're seeing a movement away, and maybe that's going to also go to local players. The first step we're seeing, because, you know, Rudolph talks a lot about improving the coach in Jamaica. We have seen a movement away from overseas coaches, overseas born coaches, even though they're Jamaican descent, to more locally based coaches. Now, I'll say this. I have no problem with, if you think your coaches have the right skills, mindset, ability, them being local. I have no problem with that. It's your prerogative. Nobody can tell you what to do. You do what you want to do. So long as you give the best chance to win. And we'll see how that works out. You see Downswell is the under 17 coach. You know, he's a technical director at some point. You see Rudolph Austin, the under 20 coach. You see Rudolph, the coach for the national team. So we're moving towards more local coach than what we have had in the past with the Schaefers and the Halgrimson and the McLaren. And then even overseas, John Walls of the world. We're moving away from that. Now, what does that mean for players born overseas? We don't know, but I fear for them if they want to play for Jamaica. That's all I'll say. I fear for them. I don't think it will be good. I don't think it will be good. Now, what else did he say here? He's not going to involve Renee Simonis. I think he took that as an affront when Renee mentioned he wants to be involved when he want to run things or come in. I don't think he liked that, and I hear him different roles talking about that. Now, in terms of coach and how you coach people, during that whole conversation, I didn't hear anything about player engagement, player association, calling players, talking to players. All I hear is a dictatorial conversation. I am disciplined. I am focused. I don't hear anything about I'm going to be reaching out to these players, whoever those players are. He said he knows the players been around for a year. We don't have to know the player them. He may know them as football. He don't know the player them as individuals. He don't know the player them. May I tell you that he know the player them. Has engaged them enough to have a relationship with any of them. In fact, some of the players them, historically, given some of the things that happened in the past, may still hold a grudge. He may say he doesn't care, but anybody who have Rudolph's ego, some people call it narcissism, them care. I'm coming like the man who run the place at US. If you touch him with a needle, it go right through them. Them care. And ego big. So your ego that big, anybody said to you, you have thin skin, trust me. Now, so if you think about coaches, Luis de la Fuente from Spain, Didier Deschamps, Roberto Martinez, national coach, people know. They are relationship builders. They engage people. Deschamps maybe a little bit less than them two there, but they engage people. They build relationships. It's about, because when you own people, when the man attack me, I have things, you only have 2 days in the people. There's 1 week window in March for these games to be played. You only have 2 days with the players then before they play in first game. 2 days. You don't have a ton of time. The work should be done before you get to the training field for the first time. You should be spending a lot of time with those players. Bring in who want to come in, recruit you want to recruit. There should be a ton of engagement with those players. Tons. Players should know, you should know your roster by early February, by the latest. Players should know who they might play against, the team they might play against, how the team play, what player they may be approaching, for them side of the field, where they might play, what they might do. All that should be worked out. There should be Zoom calls on a regular basis to talk strategy. All me here is that my discipline, I'm a focus, you don't need no disciplinarian when you play 2 games with people. You need the Ancelotti type people and the Zinedine Zidane type people. Them coach you need. You don't need no disciplinarian. You only have 2 games. Enough time for people to go party and come home. Disciplinarian don't mean nothing. You have to have people who can bring people together, manage people, manage egos, manage relationships. You don't need no people. You need the Ancelotti and Zinedine Zidane people. You don't need no. How much tactics you can put in that 2 day, people? You have to do it way before you get there. Way before you get there. Not even close. So that concept and that idea about I'm focused and I'm disciplined, you should be focused. You should be disciplined. But this is not Cavalier where you have a bunch of baby play for you. A big man think this. Professionals who probably have bigger resume than you do in terms of where they have played and who they have played under. You got to manage that. And let's get to the $1 million question. Conflict of interest. So he was asked about his conflict of interest, and the way it was posed was this, which is, you're the chair of the technical committee, and you're not the interim coach. Isn't that like a conflict? And he answered by saying, so I got to be very, very careful, because what's on my mind to say, I don't want to say it. Okay, some person who run a major country, he might point out to him and another, and one of them sycophant them, who is richest man in the world. Them two, them say, have conflict. Then him talk about the ministers and him talk about the teacher association and all sort of this. So what he's basically saying is that if other people can have conflict, then me can't have conflict. That's what I'm saying. Because you say he has conflict, he admits it. The first thing was the question wasn't posed the right way. And then the follow-up questions were not there to challenge what he's saying. If you're using those people as example, like the person who run the country, let me live now, and him sycophant them as example, where everybody and their mother said them corrupt, and them have conflict, and them besiege it, and them go against it, but them can't do nothing, kind of run things, then your example is atrocious, and you're saying that if somebody's a criminal, we can't be a criminal too, that because you make it direct. I mean, two of we are criminals, so if everybody a criminal, we're fine. That's what you're saying now. I'm using criminal as an extreme example. But all you're saying is that if somebody a criminal, we can't be a criminal too, so it's all right. And then you want to go to Jamaica, society which nepotism reigns and conflict reigns. But the question you ask yourself, are those conflicts managed? Because conflicts are inherent in life, right? Conflicts are inherent in life. The question, how they manage, how they mitigated, how they're reduced. So the first question was posed. He said, chair of the technical committee and the national coach. Let me just say the conflicts again, people, because this is important. And we're going to ask the question, you have to lay out the roadmap so people can see why people are concerned about the conflict. So the conflicts are this. Here are the conflicts. You are the sporting director of Cavaliers. You are the coach of Cavaliers. You are the owner of Cavaliers. You are the chair of the finance committee. You're on the board of directors. You're the chair of the technical committee. And now you're the international coach. Those set of conflicts are so pervasive, it makes your head hurt. Even if you don't want to do nothing wrong, inherently in that, you get uncomfortable. And we'll talk about the FIFA component of this. We get uncomfortable. Now, he says they have a conflicts policy, they have a conflicts register, which where you write down your conflicts. And when FIFA come in, they audit his conflicts. So, you know what? Everything is fine. What the person did, first of all, the question was posed wrong about the nature of the conflicts. But also what it didn't do was challenge the notion that the comparative views were okay, because they were not okay. Right? If you're going to use the person in the United States where everybody say corrupt and conflicted, that can be a good example. If you believe the person is competent, if you believe intentions are good, the concentration of roles is unavoidable, conflicts of interest, and has to be managed. So if you have a conflict register, what your register should have is this. You have the nature, you have who owns the conflict. So what you do in these organizations when you have register, who owns it? So somebody got to own it, apart from the person who has the conflict. And the person has to be a stature enough to be able to manage, to challenge the conflict. You have to have what the conflict is, and you have to have what's the remedy for the conflict. And then you have to make sure you put mitigants in place to eliminate or reduce the conflict. So you can talk about him recuse himself. If him recuse himself from this year, making him wouldn't be in the JFF at all. Given the conflicts he have, he would not be in the JFF at all. He might recuse himself from every decision, given the nature of his conflict. He says FIFA out of the conflict. We're going to touch on the FIFA thing. Now, FIFA does have code of ethics, which is sort of the principles and morals where you live by. And under that, they talk about bribery and corruption and all that. And conflict of interest is one of them. And I'll show you what, if I can find it, where they have things about conflict and recusing yourself. Now, he's saying FIFA audits these conflicts annually. Now, unless FIFA is some blind people, then the nature of the conflicts, if they're disclosed appropriately, because then FIFA is only, here's the thing, you can't just audit what's in the register. You have to do your own due diligence as an auditor to figure out, is the register complete? So when you're auditing something, you can't just, I just write down what me tell you, say, and that's this year I use the audit, that's not auditing. Because what I'm doing is taking and regurgitating what you gave me. I have to do my own due diligence to make sure that register is complete. So I'll go around and have more conversation and look for other methods and means to identify where those conflicts may reside. And then I go look at what those conflicts entail. Are they appropriately documented? Do they reflect facts and circumstances? And then are the mitigants in place to remediate those conflicts? This concept that I wrote them down in the register, and I'm good people. If I say, yeah, about these conflicts, and you say, write them down and you move on. What does that mean? Does that mean anything to anybody? Does that make any sense to anybody? Or me alone just a carry on, but I'm thinking it make me uncomfortable with it. Huh? Now, FIFA knows, FIFA records it, FIFA audits it. But then if we are here as general public uncomfortable with the conflict, how does FIFA get comfortable? Please tell me, people. Now, I was told by someone in the JFF a while back that I'm not going to breach any confidence, but I'm going to summarize it by saying this. FIFA doesn't always execute against this thing when they find it. They'll tell the organization the president has to address it. And apparently, the president has not addressed it. Now, let's see if we can find something from FIFA to talk about this, because it's important. Because when people ask questions and then just ask generic questions, then not going on detail. It's very frustrating to me. Very, very frustrating. So let me pull this. Let me see if we can pull this up. And we can read through it together. Come and look it up. We can't read it together. You know what? I'm just going to read it. I'm going to read it. Now I'll put it up. Come here. May show some personal information. This says, if me about conflicts, a FIFA policy and conflict of interest is primarily addressed in the FIFA Code of Ethics. And you can go look it up online to people. The code outlines the standard of conduct and integrity expected from various individuals involved in football, including officials, players, and employees. Here are the key provisions of the principles related to conflict of interest. These are very important, people. And I'm mark them down and tell me if it equate to what the JFF does. Definition. Conflicts of interest arise if individuals bound by the code, which is their code of ethics, which talks about their principles and their morals and how they operate, and things they have to abide by. Conflict of interest arise if individuals bound by the code have or appear to have private or personal interests. Listen to these people. Private or personal interests that detract from their ability to perform their duties with integrity in an independent and purposeful manner. Now, if you think about all these conflicts, can they, in terms of how they're constructed, can you envision a situation where the person may do something that's not appropriate because of the conflict? Now, they define private and personal interests. These are broadly defined to include gaining any possible advantage for the individuals themselves, their families, relatives, friends, and acquaintances. So if your conflict can create a situation where the situation you're in can give your family and friends and acquaintances some benefit and create advantage for them, then that's not a good thing. Right? So you want to avoid that. It says obligation to avoid and disclose. Individuals must avoid any situation that could lead to a conflict of interest. Repeat that. This is FIFA, people. This is not Cranky. Individuals must avoid any situation that could lead to a conflict. When a potential or existing conflict of interest arises, they must disclose it immediately. So I'm saying disclose it in the conflicts register. This is very important. Very important. They must not perform any football-related duties in a context where the potential or existing conflict interest is present. Let me repeat that. They must not perform any football-related duties in a context where the potential or existing conflict of interest is present. If you are coaching a national team and you are coaching a local team, there is no more prima facie case of that being the situation. None. It then goes on to talk about they have a broader compliance framework. It says they're going to be annual disclosure. Employers are generally required to submit an annual conflict of interest question, such as disclosure form, due diligence and screening. FIFA conducts due diligence on third parties like vendors, blah, 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 loyalty. And it says, in summary, FIFA's policy requires a proactive approach, avoiding conflict of interest situations, and when they are unavoidable, immediate and complete disclosure and withdrawal from the relevant decision-making process. I don't think that can be any clearer. And for people in Jamaica or in the media, who whenever I ask question, don't go do them research, but make sure so they know them I talk about, it's disappointing. But then if you call me Rudy, or you call me Cranks and Ranks, I mean, your body, me just give you a general question, you give me a pre-rehearsed answer, I'm going to go about my business. I have never in my history seen conflict at this level. No, that's not true. We have in the US. We have in the US. And rephrase that. I have never seen it in football. We have in the US people at the highest level, which is not an example for anybody to use. And your governor knew some from California. I thought was the other day. So the person who run the place they were talking about is rude, obnoxious, should not be an example for anything in life. So if you use him as the example, you can know where you're there. But those conflicts we just talked about are at a level which I've never seen before in my life, ever, people. And also, I think one of FIFA's problem is the Caribbean has 31 votes and can couple a lot of votes. FIFA not care. FIFA just want to vote. Because this person now, Rudolph is on the people. Let me just say this. Rudolph is on the technical. Rudolph, go hit me now. Rudolph is on the technical committee for FIFA. Now Jamaica, we can't laugh at the people. Jamaica football is back in the 40s as it relates to where we are versus the competition. We can't even make World Cup with Curacao and Trinidad and Bermuda. And Rudolph, the technical committee of FIFA. So Rudolph, look like he can get promoted, you know. He can get promoted from where him there. And if you look at Jamaica technical situation with the technical director, technical hiring coach, me confuse people, me confuse. Anyway, but it's all conflicting people. It's not okay. And people in Jamaica think it's okay because them conflicted too. It's not okay. When you're in a conflict situation, people, you have to have mitigants to reduce the conflict, or you excuse yourself so you don't have the conflict. You recuse yourself from whatever it is you're involved in. Rudolph can't recuse himself from nothing because he wouldn't have no say in nothing at JFF. His conflicts are so bad that he never recuse himself from the JFF totally if you don't have the conflict for the conflict to be managed appropriately. So the team conflict them can't manage. Okay, if you're a national coach, even if you don't select players from it, because what people in Jamaica focus on now is the execution, not the situation. So they're focused on, and Rudolph will say, well, I'm the most honest person you know. You may be. Nobody's saying you're not honest. But you want to tell me you're going to make a decision that's not in your best interest? Doesn't mean you're dishonest. You should not be they should not be in that situation, people. They should not be put in that situation. This whole concept that I'm honest and therefore that it's okay, that's not how conflicts work, and that's how you manage conflicts. And I will say this, I've audited conflicts throughout my career. I've written presentation on conflicts, so I'm very familiar with the subject. And I hear a lot of people talk about it, and they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't know how it works. They don't understand how it works. They don't understand the implications of it and what the possibilities are for inappropriate behavior. So even if Rudolph does this, let me give you an example, people. Let me give you an example. So Rudolph is a national team coach, and I'm still the coach of Cavaliers. I don't know how we even live with that, right? And he might own a Cavaliers too. So if Rudolph would have played the national team and said, I'm get the benefit from it, you can't have the situation. But here's the thing. So Rudolph said, you know what? I don't want nobody to say me conflicted. So I'm now going to select John Brown who play for me. That's disadvantage who play with Cavaliers. That's disadvantage of that player, So he may not get a benefit, but that player is disadvantaged. You don't want them situations to occur. That's why you don't put yourself in those situations. So you may try to be above what's required and make sure no aspersion can be cast on you because of your role. But then the person who played in your team who probably could have made a national team, you're going to say, you know what, man, I'll put them in because they must say a favorite thing to me, I do. You hurt yourself. I doubt it will happen that way, but you hurt yourself. So anyway, it's unfortunate, people, and that shouldn't become the case. But I think Rudolph's biggest problem that I see is, and by the way, just about the media, Jamaica media, every day me hear and listen to me lose respect for them. The respect get low and low. So we start at 10 with the media, and we go to 9. I'm not telling you now, but it's not past 5. Every day me look respect for them. I'm not too conflicted. The media too conflicted too. So them can't do good interviews, and they can't ask the right question, and they can't be decisive in what them do. Them can't ask pertinent question which need to be asked. Them can't ask what the people them want to hear or the people them want to know. Them can't ask things what the people them should know. It's just very concerning listening to them ask questions and interviews. It's insufficient. It's not okay. It's just not. My biggest concern about Rudolph and his role is this, apart from the conflict, which you see I spend a lot of time on. I don't hear it when he asks me about planning what he's going to be doing. I don't hear very strategic and thoughtful approach and well thought out process about how he's going to go about this role. I haven't heard him talk me through hierarchically, chronologically, sequentially, in a linear matter, in a linear way, how this is going to work. Right? I am convening my team. I'm going to have a team XYZ. I'm going to cover all of this. We're going to have my analyst, and I think he talked about that. Part of that process is going to be how we divide and conquer the world that we have to cover. What are all the particulars that we need to do about the opposition, about our own team, about our situation, about logistics? We're going to work through each of those items. And then we're going to have a process where we have a blueprint about how this is done. We're going to have engagement we're going to identify what a squad is going to look like. Who are the best people we need, given facts and circumstances, and given the players that we're going up against. What players do we have currently, and what gaps we need to fill, because we're not comfortable with what we have. And how are we going to go pursuing them? How am I garnering that list of players that I need to recruit? And what I'm going to do to convince them to come join up and be part of this program? How are we going to convene and engage, given that we have limited time between when the window opens and when we have the first game? That's a structural, thoughtful, strategic process. I'm in here, so I'm focused, I'm in discipline, and I've done it before in my previous life, so I'm going to do it. And you just like, you don't have to give away any secrets about the players and the team you're going to play and the strategy you're going to employ. We know you're going to play kick and run football, so we didn't got to ask you about no strategy. I want Jamaica to work up. I want Rudolph Speid to succeed. But wanting success doesn't mean I have to suspend my judgment. Leadership is not about power. It's about responsibility. And the World Cup doesn't reward confidence. It rewards cohesion. It rewards thought. It rewards planning. It rewards ability. It rewards strategy and well collated and a cohesive one. It doesn't reward the fact that we can beat me chest and say I'm confident we do well in the corporate. So therefore, we'll do well on this. And I haven't heard that strategic voice, perspective, to let me walk away saying, yes, it's a difficult task. He said it. It's more difficult than trying to qualify regularly. And we're going to qualify with this bunch of players who couldn't beat Curacao. And I've been looking at the Congo team, and I see them play for Sunderland, and I see them play for Newcastle, and I see all the teams they play for. I get concerned. I don't see that strategy. I am not walking away confident that, okay, we have somebody in the seat who I know has thought through all of this, who was part of a fail. Because why should I expect it different from what happened before? We failed miserably campaign. The only person who could make us fail to get to the World Cup was the administration and the coach, and they did a brilliant job in doing so. They were flawless in the failure that they achieved and us not getting to the World Cup. They snatched the World Cup, they snatched defeat, and they snatched us not getting to the World Cup from us going to the World Cup. We got to the World Cup before even the group even start. I mean, some people say, a soup. We're in the World Cup. We don't have to play nobody. We just go to and turn up and win. And then, you know what? We're not going to the World Cup. We also select the wrong coach. We also select the wrong players. We employ the wrong game strategy. And we get the wrong outcome. They did a brilliant job of failing. And then we reward failure by putting people in charge who say they want to do something different because they know why they feel. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. We're brilliant. We say, you know what? Hey, you know what feel look like? You know, so I'm going to try feel because World Cup only $9 million we get. That's not enough money. But I need $9 million. The football well developed. We have coaches who know them at do. We have players who know them at do. I don't know. It's very difficult for me to grasp that. I would say to you, Rudolph, because I know you watch my program, okay? What you want to say? I know you watch it. You're not covering program. I know you watch my program. I said this, Rudolph. I suggest to you, you come with a blueprint. I said this before people. Rudolph needs to be on a plane, people. Can't sit on your yard with Coley and some old Reggae Boyz. Attack strategy. You have to be on a plane, go meet players, talk to players, engage players, talk to other coaches, understand everything about Congo you want, and New Caledonia too. Understand what the goal is. You know what the goal is anyway. Understand what the obstacles are they're going to face and how to overcome those obstacles. Come with a strategy. You kick them for run football and go play against Congo. Them quicker than we, fitter than we, faster than we, better than we. You have to have a different strategy to beat them. Kick and run thing not going to work. You need some better players. You need some people who can hold onto the ball and do something with the ball. You need Ravel. Hey, by the way, Tycoon sent me Tavernier information. Today, I said Tavernier who play for Bournemouth. You need players like them there who can play football, who are robust, physical, quick, and have technical ability. Go recruit them. In brother play for Captain Rangers. In play for Bournemouth. Go find them. Find them, play them, bring them in. But then Rudolph is not a recruiter either, which makes it 10 times worse. Rudolph is not a recruiter, which Rudolph has to spend time. Rudolph try to do 50 jobs in people. People, think about Rudolph's job. I'm a man who a trustee, don't it? I'm involved with some credit card company. I'm coach Cavaliers. I'm technical director for Cavaliers. I'm own Cavaliers. I'm chair technical committee. I'm chair the finance committee. I'm a board member. I mean, how much role one man can do, people? How much role one man can do before him burn out or not be effective? You can't be effective doing so much roles. Now, in his corporate job, he could manage 20 companies because people are doing the day job. He's overseeing it. People reporting to him. You don't manage 20 companies. You manage about maybe 4 or 5 people who then oversee those 20 companies. That's how it works. It's a distributed thing. But anyway, that's my thing, people. The phone line is open. That's my little soliloquy. It was an hour and 20 minutes soliloquy. I think the Rudolph need a blueprint, people. I mean, you're nothing yet. Let me get comfortable. So Rudolph can do the job. Nothing. Like your wife wants to say. Nothing. Nothing so far that he has said. Let me walk away saying, you know what, Rudolph can do the job. I mean, you know blueprint. I mean, you know strategy. I mean, you know see no vision. I'm here, so I'm confident. I do it enough, but I can't do it again. So I'm here. Another night of bashing Speid. Rudolph's on leave from the board and the committee. Nationalist, nationalist. If you come on my program and I try opposing me, I'll call you out. You not listen. Me not bash Speid. I reacted to an interview that was conducted with Rudolph Speid. Can I do that? I do reaction video, people. I react to interview that's done of the President of the United States. I react to interview that's done by other people. I react to interview. I react to interview done by Little Short Man. I react to interviews. I do reaction videos. There's no bashing. I'm calling. Tell me one thing I've said, nationalist. You're up late. I'll tell you one thing I've said. Tell me one thing I've said, nationalist, that is you can dispute. You tell me what I said that you can dispute. Tell me one thing we can say, nationalist, you say we can dispute. There's nothing I say, which are either factual or my own opinion, which can be refuted because of my opinion, or which don't have basis in facts or logic in it. Nothing. So we have toxic boss and technical boss. Everything around Jamaica is Speid. No, I don't call Speid toxic boss. He's not toxic in that way. But I call Speid toxic. He may be technical boss, but he's not. I don't think he's toxic boss. He may be overconfident boss, but he's not. I don't call him toxic boss. He may be too confident. I have said nothing about Rudolph today, which is it's not bashing. If you're a part of a public organization and you're playing that role, the organization has been failing Jamaica miserably, then I got to call you out and call out the organization. And I can't help people who may not like it. What people need to do is say, okay, Cranky, what you say is illogical. It doesn't make any sense. You're being unfair. Please tell me and I will listen. And if you're right, then I will acquiesce and say, yeah, you're right. Speid is ego boss. Speid is a very, I was going to say healthy ego, but he has a nice ego. And the interview says, we haven't heard anything about Rudolph previous life. We have heard about Rudolph previous life. A lot of times. So that person, what's his name? You want to interview him? Richie B? He's not listening. He's not listening. And Rudolph should be proud of his accomplishment in terms of his corporate life. But this is a different story, Rudolph. You play with people, mindset, and their mind, become the national team. I think when Rudolph, people, remember when Rudolph hired the coach, he said, don't hire the coach of Rudolph. Wrong decision I make Rudolph. Don't hire him. Get somebody from this. And Rudolph said me on YouTube, I don't know nothing I talk about. When I start talking about all the conflict, Rudolph beat me. So I think me know the auditors them from FIFA. And so I have to just take it and bite me tongue and just go on, because I'm not that smart. But me know. Come people, the phone like, hey, put that number. I can't call in. Go to your bed, Rudolph. Go to your bed. Go to your bed, Rudolph. Go to your bed, Rudolph. David people thing. Go to your bed. Another night I'm bashing Speid. No, I'm bashing Speid. I talk facts. Hey, people, let me just tell some people. Some instances in your life, you should pick sense out of nonsense. Even if you don't like what somebody's saying about you, what you should do is assess whether or not that person is saying things which make sense that I can leverage. That's what you should do. You may say they might talk nonsense, but yeah. But I don't look. I think Jamaica is moving towards more local coaches run the football. You guys tell me, is that a good thing? I don't know. Are we qualified enough in terms of coaching to have all local coaches run most of the national teams? Are we? Tell me. Bless up, Roman. Thanks for being here. Are we at a position now as a people in a football community where the local coaches have achieved the designated level, so all our national teams to be coached? Because that's what we're doing, the senior team. I know Coley has his pro license. I think Speid has A, but the license alone is not the basis for you to assume certain roles. You gotta have the experience to go with the license, right? A lot of people can get licensed by going theory. You gotta have the practical. Yeah. So a lot of people are saying, no, we're not there yet. Well, I mean, that's what we moved to, right? Whether or not we're there. Now, it may be a money factor, because we have to understand that the JFF is not awash with money. They're financially challenged, and they have to be careful about how much it costs them to hire and support these coaches, and also give them their source of funding. Now, the idea, one get U20 was winning and mash it up. I think he was given basket to carry water, actually. If you talk about Jerome Waite, I think Jerome Waite was not fair to Jerome Waite, actually. I think the push was made to have many locally based players in the team, or born players in the team, and the players weren't at the level required. That's why the under 20 did so poorly. So I'm not going to come here and bash Jerome Waite. Because if you're not giving the raw material, or then the raw material, if you're not giving the finished product, you go to a tournament, who can compete, then you could be a miraculous coach. You could be a coach who can create miracles. It's not going to work. You know, so the great coaches always have great teams. A lot of times, the coaches, people that are great. Like, you ever see Pep have no team when I'm on quality players night? Pep don't take no job where, like how you say, some allies will take, Think about Pep. If you think about Ferguson, think about Ancelotti, all of them, they're not taking no job with the players. They're not very good. They make sure they protect for them reputation and a winning percentage. They might go for the best player, best coaches, more resources. So, name brand Jonathan said the coach's fee should have been negotiated to be included in the Adidas deal on the premise that better results could be achieved. I don't know, but I'm not sure we do those contracts that way. Jay said, don't have a problem with local coaches. They need to get educated experience outside, similar to Coley. Yeah, I do think Jamaica has a thing. I say this every day, so I'm not saying it no more in terms of the strategy they should employ, because I'm going to see and rabbit hole and go down and then learn. Yeah, right, Farmer. I agree with the Farmer. More likes. Somebody said, as I hear Toxic Boss says, we need to develop a national system of play from the youth teams up. But you have to have a technical director to oversee that. We don't have one. Oh, no, that's not true. The technical director is now the assistant coach for the under 20 and the coach for the under 17. That's the technical director. I don't even understand that, people. How does the technical director get from being technical director to be assistant to the under 17 and under 20 coach? Like, we don't know where we are, though. Cornflake says, to be honest, it no sense bashing Speid because he won't give up the role unless he died. So we just have to encourage him. So you consider what I just said is bashing? Okay, I disagree. I don't think it was bashing. I think it was people that said it's a reaction video. The man had an interview. All I did was broke down what was said and responded to it. And my concern is, I don't hear. I expect to hear an extensive discussion about how he's going to bring the players together, create a community, us against them, to achieve a common goal. Because the players are the most important assets in this whole thing, people. You know, Speid, you know? Speid not the most important thing in this, you know? Are the players, them, the quality of the players you have. Speid can't create miracles in 2 days when my coach. When my coach until them say? In 2 days. Unless him start the process now, by educating and informing them, and he can't go on the field and do scenario analysis and create situation on the playing field and do walkthroughs until them come within 2 days. So a lot of that needs to be done. I haven't heard anything about that being done before we even get there. I hear some people say some players may not want to play. I think all the players will want to play. I think the players will want to play. All the players want to go World Cup, no matter what happened. All right? All the players want to go to the World Cup. So they're gonna try to they're gonna play. I don't see a player who may not want to play. And by the way, people, I've been looking at the players this weekend. A lot of those players are getting some game time and scoring. Russell, Bobby Reed, what score? Campbell. I see no goal from Calamartina. I think I'm checking stat recently, but we only have one for the season so far. That's not good. I don't know if Nicholson getting any playing time. I don't know if Cephas getting playing time because I haven't checked with them, but I'm Bailey always injured and Roma want to move him on someplace else. I want to create space for another player. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Whisper still in the under 21. So I mean, is he gonna get new players? Is he gonna get a midfield? I don't know what he's gonna do. It's only 2 games and it's a knockout competition. It's like a pickup team. You need to have the best players. Interview is same thing he's been saying for months now. Yeah, it's probably true. This one was a little bit more incisive, I thought, actually. In that the interviewer covered a wide breadth of topics that he responded to. They say, I can't see the players being inspired to run their house out for Speid. They want to play, yes, but a player coach could have been hired to get the best from players. Yeah, and the question is, how will the players who are born overseas feel when Speid says that the local born players have more passion, and when the permanent interim Zenjek says they want to move away from overseas born players or foreign born players, I think. How will they take that? How will the Gensec even face those players who are born? Like, you're the Gensec and you go to the game. Are you going to engage those players? Have you done diss them? How does that work, people? People, please explain that to me. If you're the Gensec who got enough for the game, them probably got all the game, them. Or you go talk to Bobby Reed and talk to Demari Gray and talk to John Russell and talk to Ethan Pinnock and talk to them. Oh, you talk to them. Or you engage them. I don't want to put on my team, but you're in them face a smile like you're a hypocrite. How that work, people? You don't understand that. You don't want them on your team. And like me, who in the public forum now, to the YouTube, and we can critique, we can assess and critique or give flowers. As a leader and a role in a Gensec, that's not your role. It's not only to cater to the local population, or the local business house people, or the local sports community, and make them feel good, and tell them, say, no one on foreign born players. What you say went public. So how do you engage them? How do you be around them? Gensec is not interim. No, stop it, not interim. Gensec not interim people. I don't think so. The Gensec is not interim. You know, probably the Gensec that role. When did Dennis Chung leave? Dennis Chung leave when? From April? A long time Dennis Chung leave. Dennis Chung was supposed to leave in August. He left early. Cranky can't talk to King now. Why we can't talk to King? We never talked to King before, so we talk to him now. And by the way, congratulations to King, who won the Scottish Cup this weekend, playing in a back three, playing center half. And by the way, the center half who plays to his left, Freckleton, Jamaican heritage. So the kid who plays beside King, center half, is also Jamaican heritage. And I think he's probably going to be pursuing his papers acted at some point, if I'm not mistaken. But he has Jamaican heritage. Can't go get him. come here with the center half because we need some more athleticism around there. If you not get slow, if you're not getting seasoned, if you're not getting much game time. At least Rico Henry getting game time nowadays, people. Good night. Who am I speaking to?
Cranky.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night, Mr. Determined. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I can't complain, Cranky. So far, so good.
Awesome. What do you have to say?
Well, I'm here checking out the show, listening to you, and you're asking, you're talking about the GenSec, right? And
yeah.
How can he come out and say these outlandish things, right?
And then face the players because he goes to the game. So are you going to talk to the players and engage them, the ones who are born overseas? We come out and say you don't want them in your team, basically.
Well, he's the man that has the money. He's in charge of the purse.
There ain't much money to be in charge of.
Well, it could be 50 cents.
The bank is broken. The bank is broke. They're out of money. Eh?
Right, that man he's coming out. Don't you see it's a power struggle? He's coming out flexing his muscle, Speed flexing his muscle. This is not about football, man. This has nothing to do with football.
Yeah, I don't know if he has any muscle to flex. He's been with the JFF since 2008. You know what I understand? For a lot of people who are in the JFF or in certain roles, been there since donkey years. And when you ask them what they've accomplished, what they have done, give me one significant accomplishment you've done. They can't tell you nothing, you know. They can't tell you one thing they've done, which is significant that contributes to Jamaica football. Them just there to take up space. Enough of them.
Yeah, but and everybody is fighting to stay in there.
Yeah.
I just and you brought up a point about, and I'm at the point now that I don't see them going to the World Cup. There's going to be a locally driven agenda, which I don't mind.
No, it won't be.
Huh?
No, it won't be.
It won't be. Cranky?
It won't be. Just trust me, it won't be. But then people trust me about 5 days before.
Listen,
like people go, you'll beat me. Well, no, I was told it won't be. Mm-hmm. So let's see if that's the case. I was told. Rudolph said it actually, by the way. When he was asked a question tonight, he said that, right? He said that he's gonna get the best players. They're not local.
I'm talking about I'm talking about them. I don't believe that they're gonna qualify. I'm talking about the after this whole debacle.
Oh, yes. They're gonna go local.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're gonna go local. Well, here's what people don't understand, and here's what's really disappointing. So I have no problem with local players being national team. They should be local players in national team. But here's what here's what Jamaica did poorly. You know what Jamaica should have done? Go out and put on a full court press to get the best players possible of Jamaican heritage, right? To get to the World Cup. And to probably play for the next, 4 or 5 years. In that time period, so you say, over a 10-year period, over a 5-year period, we're going to develop the football to a certain level. And we're going to get to the World Cup first, get our $9 million. We're going to share it. So we have $4 million left, because people have to take more than 5. But we have $4 million left to invest in football. But what we're going to do is we're going to start at a certain age group. So we start about 6, 7, 8, or start 9, 10, whatever the number is we have. We need to get to the national team by then reach 20, right? And we're going to develop the football in a certain way, in a certain way with coaching. We're going to go look at examples in Ecuador and Uruguay and Spain and Barca, whatever. And we'll come back with that knowledge and inform and use that knowledge, disseminate it to the entire country from a football perspective, organizationally, strategic, whatever it is, criteria you want to use. And then what we're going to do, so we will go through the process of still recruiting overseas, but at some point, we'll get players ready to compete on the global basis. So we're going to use the foreign-born players, you want to call them, or heritage players, as the key right now to drive the football, to get our ranking up, to get better with the team. But in the meantime, we can do 2 things at once. We can also develop the football to a certain level whereby we don't have this conversation now about teaming local dominated overseas players, because we'll have enough players being developed locally who can compete with those in any country, in any environment. So we kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Versus complain about overseas born players and then local players are not good enough.
Cranky, that's called critical thinking. And that doesn't happen in our federation. And you made a good point in what you just said about the overseas players. They should have been driving the finance from day one. But as I said, it has to do with critical thinking. What I see, Cranky, when it comes to this administration, after the failure going to the World Cup is going to be locally based. The money is not going to trickle down. This is just going to be a cluster F. I don't see anything good coming out of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if we don't get to the World Cup, what happens next? That's the question JFF needs to answer. They're going to go local. They won't have any money anyway. But what does that mean to go local? Are you developing the players locally? High school football is not the answer. So are you developing them in a way? Are you going to get a technical? When are you going to get a technical director? When? When are you going to get one? When are you going to get one?
But you see what happened didn't they form the league for the professional league for the women league, right?
Yeah.
How is that going? How is it going?
I already haven't followed. I need to follow up on that actually. I haven't followed up on that actually. I need to follow up.
But these are the things we need to look at, the progression as far as, because I'm sure that's with some of the World Cup money that they got for the girls to form that league. And did they just form it and leave it? How is it going? Because this is the indication of what is in, what's next for the football, for the senior team.
Yeah.
Because I just don't, I just see a dark 4 years plus of football for us. I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing moving forward. It's just stagnant. That's all I see right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
Yeah.
Trinidad and Jamaica are in good company. They coach each other.
No, Trinidad. No.
Jamaica learning from Trinidad. That's why they didn't make the World Cup, because Trinidad and Jamaica are bosom buddies when it comes to coaching. So get to the World Cup.
That is so not true. If you look at what Dwight York is doing and the support that he has, not only from the fans, but also the government, the federation, they're backing him 100%.
But he didn't make the World Cup. In a poor zone. He didn't make the World Cup in a poor zone. Poor. Jamaica was poor. Curacao is not a great team. And Bermuda didn't exist. He didn't make the World Cup either.
But Cranky, give him some credit. When did he get the team?
Yeah,
so exactly. You and then he didn't have. Look at the players that he had. They just did the whole grandfather clause and start bringing on players, but it was too late. I guarantee if they had a good year or two working on it, Trinidad would have made it. They would have beat us.
They played good football, but they still didn't make it. As a friend of mine would tell me, they still didn't make it. They play good football, and good football they do it. You make it, you don't count. Curacao made it. A bunch of third division, second division players, all of them born overseas.
But I'm looking at the trajectory in where they're going. They didn't make it, but if you look at how the development of what they're doing is going in the right direction. Let's put it that way.
No, I think York will do a good job with the team because he has a lot of experience, both in his playing and playing at the highest level under good managers, and also he's done some coaching, I think mainly in Australia. And his team play good football, but you gotta finish the opportunities you get them. So that's probably the main reason why they didn't make it. Because I thought they were better than Jamaica in both games, even though they only got 1 point from those 2 games out of possible 6. I thought they were the better team. And against Curacao, they drew with Curacao. Curacao didn't beat them. And they could have beaten Curacao and Curacao too. So at the end of the day, what matters is winning, right? It doesn't really matter.
That's it.
And we didn't win, and they didn't win. So yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Well, Cranky, I end with this. This will never change. I came on your show close to almost a year, and I said, you give hyenas the responsibility to watch over sheep or goats, and you see what's going on. This is not about the football. Yeah. This is about power and money, period. It takes courage. It takes courage to make the right decision. It takes courage to have empathy, and that's not there. None of the above is there. But anyway, have a good night. Thanks for the show.
All right. So before the game says, Cranks, it's good to hear that that corporate experience do not transfer to coaching domain. That's not what I said, actually. Go look at what I said. I said, I'm giving the example that in the corporate domain, you have more control. You have more authority. I control what happens in the corporate domain, I'm the boss. There's a hierarchy. It's set in stone. There's HR. You do what I do, you get fired. But also in the corporate domain, what transfer really well is if you're a good leader, if you're a good manager, you rally your troops. You get your troops want to run through walls for you. They want to work for you. They'll work late, even they don't have to work late, because you support them, you encourage them. They want to make you look good. It makes the team look good. So there are aspects of corporate environment which are transferable to the coaching field, but there are also elements which you have to manage because it doesn't really get transferred. I'm not saying you can't transfer corporate skills, because every corporate skills are transferred because they are life skills. Corporate is part of your life. It's life skills. You transfer life skills to any part of your life. Relationships, coaching, whatever the discipline is, you can transfer those skills from corporate to those disciplines. So that's not, so before the game, you gotta quote me correctly. I was just talking about some aspects of the corporate where you have that autonomy, where you have that authority, and you can't necessarily just leverage those and use those, because that's not how people work when it comes to, especially an environment where you think you're the boss, but those players probably have more experience than you do at a higher level. You don't have that as much in corporate when you come to senior people versus more junior, right? In this case, the players play for better coaches, better environment, and you coming in saying, I'm disciplined, and I'm a disciplinarian. You want to discipline people and you only have 2 days with them. What are you going to discipline them about? You're only going to have 2 days with them before you have the first game. There ain't no time to be on disciplinarian. There's no go-go club they can go in Mexico in just that 2 days. Well, they could. No, in some of them. And that, you know what, that situation, you have to be able to, and I thought they were committed and passionate. Why would they go to go-go clubs if they're the committed and passionate people in the team? You would think the people who are not committed would be the ones who are going to the go-go clubs and don't care. That's the contradiction I'm hearing, people. I'm hearing the local players are passionate and they're committed, and they might go go-go club, and the man who are passionate and committed, be a professional and stay in a hotel room. I don't understand that, you know? That makes no sense. That makes no sense, people. No sense. And if anyone's calling me, you have to call the phone on the line. You can't call my regular phone because you're not coming to the system. You have to call the regular phone. Just a 347-728-8629. Somebody call me from on a phone. You have to call the regular phone. You have to call the people in phone people. You have to call the people in phone. TNT, have a center forward. Oh, okay. Well, he plays center forward. I applaud your confidence in these. Oh, Lord, such a term. Bless up vacation and bless up jargons. How you doing, jargons? Bless up. Shamar already did Shamar did the research. Well, maybe he's in Mexico, so yeah. But the game is not in Miami. No, I think the players, they don't have that much time, people. It's flying in and flying out. You're flying 2 days before you play the first game, then 2 days later you play the second game, you go back to your team. It's not even an official window for most teams. So that's a difficult one. You know, some clubs going to be very reluctant to release players. They have to, but they're going to be reluctant to release players because think about it. You're in March. You're trying to not be relegated or to win a title, and you have to release players. You're at Leicester. You're trying to get promoted to National Premier League. That's tough. Good night. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
How you doing, sir? What do you have to say to the people on the chat and to the host?
I see you're still grappling with the idea that experience in corporate could prepare one to deal with football specific stuff and teach football. So let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me just ask you one question. I know if when it comes to the actual football, the principles of football, what area of corporate life could prepare to deal with that, with the way you want to play, the way you want to play in possession, the way you want to play out of position, the way you want to play in transition. So if somebody has never had that experience, they have not dealt with football, how do they use what they learn? What area in corporate life prepares them for that?
So if you're a corporate executive in any discipline, let's say you're a portfolio manager. No, let me do something more understandable. Say you are the CFO and they ask you to go run HR, right? You don't know about HR. and compliance and laws about people and all that. You just know finances. And this goes for corporate. The first thing you learn in corporate is that you don't know everything about everything, right? So you have to do two things, two very key things. One is go and learn what the discipline you're going to cover is. Go learn. And two is make sure you get the people, surround yourself with people who know more than you do and know a lot that can help you get things done. Those are two imperatives which are a must.
You're talking about being a manager, not a coach.
No. But the coach is a job. It's a job you're going to be doing. You're going to do a job.
A manager is the job as well in a team.
Yeah. But wait. Wait. Hold up. Alex Ferguson was not a coach. He was a manager.
Right. Yes.
Exactly.
We've got people doing the coaching, so I'm asking about the coaching.
Right. So
I can see experience in corporate teaches you to manage people if you're a manager, and you could bring that into football.
Right.
I'm speaking about football specific, the coaching of football, not the management of people, the coaching of football.
Right. But the analogy you're drawing is with somebody who has actually gone and learned how to coach. So it's not a good example. The person you're talking about, that we're talking about, wait, I'm talking about tonight, has corporate experience, and he has gone out and got badges and coach a team right now. So we're not taking him right off the shelf in corporate and say, you know what, you know nothing about football, go coach. That doesn't work. That don't make no sense. The person has actually learned his trade. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about the corporate. But we're saying the corporate components, something don't translate. Because you see, I'm a disciplinarian, I do this. And you don't realize you're dealing with people and players who probably know as much as you do or more than you do.
Right. So now you're qualifying it. You're saying somebody who has had coaching experience.
Well, you can't go to coaching field unless you have coaching experience. Because here's the thing about corporate, which is a little bit different. In corporate,
it just sound like that's what you've been arguing all the time. That because you work in the corporate world, that it's easy to make that transition into coaching football. That's what it's
no. Here's my point. Because you work in the corporate world, you can transition to almost anything in life at a certain level. Because you know what's required to be successful. You know what the prerequisites are. You know what the ingredients are to be successful. You may not have some of those skill sets that are needed, but you go acquire those skill sets, whether you learn them or you buy them to help you attain your goal.
So I would say, let's just say that somebody has some football experience,
right?
And they have more experience in the corporate world than football experience. I think if you behave like Brazil's current coach who was at Real Madrid, I think that works. If you wanna go coach,
he's not a coach. He's a manager. He's not a coach.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
In fact, he's always a manager. Even though he's a brilliant footballer, but he knows football too. He knows football, but he doesn't manage.
Right. But let me say this to you: if you want to go coach at Barcelona, you'll need to know a lot of football.
Yes, and I agree with that. I agree with that. In fact, you may have to go through their system to go coach at their place. You can't just go coach at Barcelona like that from just anywhere. You probably gonna learn their method of coaching to go coach their people.
So I'm just trying to make sure that the idea, because I think it's kind of similar to, because we do a coaching license, it means we can coach a national team, or we.
No, right? So here's how I equate that. So coaching, think you want to go to college and get a degree. You just know the theory. The real life situation is a little bit different. Right.
Well, you get a degree. It says to the entire workforce that you could learn, because any company you go to,
that's what it does. That's what it does.
You would have to learn how they do things.
Yes. Yeah, and in fact, sometimes the practical is different from the theory.
So in the future, how would you phrase this concept?
Well, you are talking. So let me just set this for people. What will be done for the work of qualifiers is managing, not coaching. There's no way that's coaching. You can't coach in 2 days. You may do some walkthrough of certain things. You can't coach in 2 days to go play 2 games. And you only have the 2 days initially, which you're probably doing recovery for people. You probably don't do any coaching for some kids at people at all. You're going to do walkthroughs to get there. So Rudolph ain't doing no coaching. Can't convince me otherwise. He's managing the situation. They maybe do some walkthrough on the field. He ain't coaching. Because some players, given their fitness level, whatever, ain't going to even be on the field. That's what I'm talking about. The process starts now. It doesn't start come March. To go back to your question about how does one translate corporate skills and learnings to a coaching environment, right? I believe corporate skills that you learn, especially if you go through the process and get to an executive level, are transferable to any wake of life, regardless of the industry that you're working in. The first thing you learn when you get to a certain level is it's about the people, it's not about you. You also learn you can't know everything. You have to get people with expertise to help you achieve your goal. You also learn how to manage people, individuals, based on facts and circumstances. And you can't manage everybody the same way. Some people can take hard guidance, and you have to be difficult with them and challenge them. And some you have to be hands off because they don't respond differently. Right? You can't treat everybody the same. That's nonsense. Anybody you can treat everybody the same? That's nonsense.
So you have to take this into consideration. And what you're saying there, I think, does qualify to maybe one aspect of the six tasks of a coach. A coach has 6 tasks, and one of them is leadership, right? And what you're explaining, the experience in the corporate environment could satisfy that task.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm not so sure that it will satisfy coaching a training session if you don't have football experience, especially if you're dealing at a high level.
So right? let me say, what do you mean by football experience? You mean learning how to coach or playing?
Yeah, learning how to coach. Coaching is a there's a process. First, begin designing a training session. First, begin identifying what you want to work on. Because if you're talking about
Andre, here's what frustrates me.
Yeah, I know.
No, here's what frustrates me, because we act as if the person who's achieved certain things academically and experience-wise in the corporate don't have the ability to go learn how to coach and go to
No, we're not saying that.
In fact, it's probably easy for them because they know exactly what they need to put in together out of it.
If you're talking about going and learn how to coach, nobody would argue with that. If you're intelligent, you're intelligent. And most of the guys in football today, most of the football that they know, a lot of young kids, they go in, they're smart, they could pass exams, they could follow instructions, and they get the theory, so they get a license. The actual application of that knowledge on the football pitch, that's a different story.
Look. You can't leave HR and go coach people on a football field. You have no idea what you're doing.
Well, okay. The first like that, what you were saying.
No. But I'm talking about the people skills that you need, and then you're gonna learn the technical skills. It's like Jamaica football players. They know how they can run fast. They're committed, and they're passionate. They got no technical skills. They haven't learned the basic. I was watching that game today, and somebody firing the ball to what's his name? The winger from Bournemouth. What's his name? The one everybody's talking about nowadays. Can't remember his name. He's gonna go into African Nations Cup. The right winger, right? Fireball into him, but 10 yards out, kick it like it's a shot, and he just brought it down in one motion. And I'm sitting there thinking, no, that's being technical. That's learning how to cushion the ball, bring it down, and keep on going as if you got a nice, easy pass that don't allow you to break stride, right? It's being technical. You can't go just go coach technical when you ain't got we haven't learned how to coach technical. We haven't learned how to teach people to control the ball and cushion the ball and turn that. You can't do that.
Right. So that's my point. That's the point I'm making is I'm not trying to get involved.
Semenyo I'm talking about. Yeah, sorry.
I'm not trying to get involved in the conversation necessarily, but this particular
But you are getting involved in my conversation.
well, yeah, because hear what? If you don't clarify the idea that you are putting forward, then it could be misleading, right? Because there's a lot of you're talking about something that you made some points earlier about the current topic that you're talking about, and some of those points are solid points, and it presents a potential problem or an idea that say, is this going to work?
Right. So, but 1 second. So here's my point. So you can be a dictator in corporate because your role allows you to be a dictator. It's hard to be a dictator with a football team with senior people who have accomplished more than you. It's hard.
Not good. Look,
they gonna have no buy-in.
There's a difference with how you work with younger players versus even the tools that you use in coaching. You don't use the same tools to communicate with players during a training session sometimes, then you don't use it in the same way that you would use with senior players playing at that level, because it could be seen as condescending. So this is
exactly
right. So this is where this is why I'm having the conversation, because I think there's so much detail under the surface that's missing, that that's not being discussed, that could make someone feel that if because Cranky worked in corporate America, that you can give him a team to go coach.
Cranky is different because Cranky plays on football. He can go get the book and learn how to run coaching session. He can go learn how to do the coaching session. He can go learn it. He can learn it. But he would probably spend a couple of years to be good at it, but he'll learn it.
Well, one of the things about coaching, right? From a leadership perspective, you have to be player centered. And if Cranky doesn't figure that out, then
Cranky realized it. No, this is something, people. So this is not me beating my chest. When I was in corporate, my teams loved me. You know why they love me? Because I knew it wasn't about me. And I made sure I had people who were smarter than me. It was never about me. They'll tell you. When they're on LinkedIn talking about what they've achieved, my name comes up. You know why? Because I'm going to give them credit. I'm going to give them flowers, but I was also a taskmaster. I'm going to give you your flowers when you deserve your flowers. I'm going to give you a raise when you deserve the raise. I'm going to give you a bonus when you deserve a bonus. But I'm also saying, you know what? Don't embarrass me. And do what you're supposed to be doing and put in the shift, put in the work. So I try to be as fair. I don't say treat people like you like to be treated, because some people don't like to be treated well. I say I try to treat people fairly. I try to be honest and be transparent. And some people left my team and upset with me, and they come back later and say, you know what? You were right. And I always feel good about that, because you know what? The ones who think you were this asshole boss realize that all you were trying to do is help them achieve their objective. And they don't seem to get that. So it was never about me when I was a boss. I learned that a long time ago. I had some great bosses. One boss told me this one time. She said, I was in public accounting, and I told her I didn't want to be a partner in the firm. I'm just trying to do my time here, then leave to go work in private. I don't want to be public. And she said to me, who cares if you want to be partner or not? All the attributes that you learn from being a partner are transferable to any way you go in corporate. So you should try to learn those attributes, learn those skill sets, and leverage them throughout your career. I've never forgotten that. And I always believe that you can tie that into maximize your potential, learn as much as possible, understand where you are, where you're trying to get to, and leverage those skill sets to maximize your potential. So I have always learned throughout my career that, you know what, you have to be, I always say invest in yourself, be the best of who you can be, and also be fair to people and treat people well. And you'll be amazed how they want to run through a big wall for you. You'll be amazed what they do for you. They'll be amazed how they make you look good. Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you should leave the damn room. And I realize some people in Jamaica, they're the smartest person in the room and they love the room they're in. I don't want to be in that room, because then I'm not going to be growing. I'm not going to be evolving. I'm going to be the same person doing the same thing because nobody else can challenge me. And that's what we call effective challenge. So I agree with you, Andre. I'm not saying that I can go coach. I can't go coach people. When I was playing football, and that's what I always thought about, the coaching I used to get, them can't coach. When I was playing football in Jamaica, them can't coach. Andre, may I tell you the truth, them can't coach. Them couldn't do it. They couldn't coach them, did they? Them coaching was the worst thing ever. It's atrocious. Now, I know things have improved in Jamaica since then, but when I was growing up, I mean, I play football, them can't coach. You run around the field a couple of times, you do some stretching, then roll at the bar, you play some ball, play some little shot. It wasn't coaching. Joker thing. Nowadays, I think football has evolved, where most people are trying to coach and trying to develop and trying to evolve, even in Jamaica and even in Trinidad. They just don't do it as well as they should.
Before I go, two things. One thing real quick. You may not agree, but this is an evolution ever since you've been talking about this specific topic. I feel like I think you have evolved.
You're just sensitive because you're a coach. You're just sensitive because you're a coach. You're just sensitive.
No. I just like, I don't want people to be misled. And secondly, I'm an Arsene Wenger fan, right? And you would know Arsene Wenger as well.
Yeah.
And you know that he's an educated man besides being a coach. He's
an economist. Yeah, he's an economist. Yeah.
Economist, right?
Yeah.
But I've never heard him speak about that in regards to football. For some reason.
No, people speak about it. He doesn't.
Yeah, people speak about it, but he's never put that in the conversation. His football conversation was always about his experience in football, his ideas in football, right? He uses his skills, his finance skills to help Arsenal build a stadium and pay for it. Okay, and people talk about that, but I've never heard him while discussing football use that as a prerequisite.
I've never heard him criticize Arteta, but I do. Because I believe Arteta struggles to game manage. I was having a discussion with a coach the other day, a senior coach.
What's the difference between you and Arsene Wenger?
Because I'm not a coach, so I can talk about my corporate skills relating to coaching.
Anyway, that's an evolution, and I hope that you don't go backward.
You're just sensitive because you're a coach, and I make it seem like coaching is you can just come off the street and coach.
It's a profession, and we have to, just like I respect your profession, you have to respect people's profession. I would never think I handle my finances, but I'll never think that there's some things that I can't handle. There's some things I may need to get expert opinion.
No. Let's get the right people. I'm a YouTuber, not about football. That's what I've been told by Rudolph and others. So you gotta take it for what it is. I don't know anything about football. Football is very complex. I can't understand it.
I can't get involved in the discussions in the discussions that you may have with other people.
But I know when I watch Arsenal play Villa that my coach was clueless on the day because they keep passing the ball. So I know about football from the defenders and midfielders through to the center forward, and he kept pressing and they keep playing around it, and he never changed. Now I may not be that smart, but I sure would have adjusted that.
3 weeks ago, I thought, since you mentioned Arsenal twice, I thought Arsenal would win everything there is to win in football this year.
I thought so too. Not everything. I thought they would win something big.
I thought they'd win four trophies this season. That's
I never thought that.
But as of today, I don't know if
they're gonna win one.
The manager, as long as the manager needs to change his behavior. He needs to become ruthless. Everybody needs to fight for their positions, and you have to pick his strongest team all the time. What he did. No. I'm not gonna agree with that. One more point before you say that. I don't think that there's a team in the league right now that's afraid of Arsenal.
I agree with that.
I think everybody's going to come in, and they would have looked at the Chelsea game, and they're going to come in and because Arsenal was sitting deep against the worst team in the league last weekend. The worst team in the league, Arsenal was sitting deep, and that team was moving Arsenal all over the pitch. And I think that for me is concerning.
Well, you know what's funny about that? You know what's funny about that? In the first 80 minutes of the game, or 75 minutes, the team was sitting deep, right? Because they weren't down. So we scored, then they come back and scored. They started playing football when they were down trying to equalize, and we stopped playing football and start do what we do, regress, end up in our own goal, frankly, which is not playing aggressive defensively, which is really interesting. We do that quite a bit, actually. We do that quite a bit.
Of his roster, he only had two people that play significant minutes out. That was Havertz, that he could depend on, and Gabriel. So he had his roster back. He picked a team that was not his strongest team, and you cannot win the league. I don't think you could win the league if you don't dominate teams. When City was winning, they would dominate teams. A team like this last weekend, they should have been dominated. We should have not only scored 3 or 4 goals, but they should not have seen the football. And that for me is and the fact that nobody seems to be afraid, that for me changes my opinion.
Yeah, but here's the problem that we face, actually. If you look at Arsenal, for example, which is he's struggling with who are his best, what's his best team? Is it Trossard or Martinelli? Is it Eze or Odegaard? Is it Gabriel, Jesus, or now Gyökeres, right? Rice is not disputed. There are very few positions. It's 2 center half are not disputed. His right back isn't, even though Ben White is a decent player. But is center forward, is left winger. How do I get Madueke more in the game? Because he has ability. He struggled. I thought he would struggle. We have a lot of options, and that's proving correct. Because it's difficult. It's difficult to keep everybody happy, and win at the same time. And it's difficult. And if if he doesn't bench people and somebody get hurt like Saka, they complain that if he gets hurt, they say he should play Madueke. If he doesn't get hurt, so if Saka gets hurt, they say, see, they overwork him. And if we don't win and Saka play and Saka don't play, they ain't gonna complain. So he's damn if he do and damn if he don't.
I think being ruthless for me, in my opinion, is Saka and Madueke need to compete for that position on the right side. On the other side, Martinelli and
Trossard
need to compete for that position.
Yeah.
The captain must play. He's different when he's in the team. So the problem that you really have is how to get the captain as
I disagree with you about the captain.
He needs to get and that's fine. I think he brings something to the team that when you watch.
What does he bring? What does he bring?
He's not afraid to get on the ball.
No, I know, but anybody can get on the ball. What's your end product you get from him?
No, his end. He's clever. He's clever. When he is on, he's clever. And remember, this is a guy that made the PFA Team of the Year 2 seasons in a row.
I'm still living off it. Still living off it.
No, but they need to figure out how to get all of those guys on the pitch at the same time.
But that's not possible. That's not, unless he plays Rice in the 6 and play Eze in the 8 and play Odegaard in the 10. It's not happening.
You the Spanish footballers, you know that too. They're different. Zubamendi, it's I don't know how he's gonna do it. That's his problem. But all I know is that if he doesn't change and they become more aggressive and don't make people feel they can come, they can physically outplay them and this, if he doesn't change that behavior, I don't know.
Well, no, I think you need to play Jesus up front instead of Gyökeres. I don't think Gyökeres offer you enough differentiation to create problems for defenses. I watched him this week and get a ball in the box, trying to turn. He was like the Titanic. He can't turn.
So in terms of production, goals per minute,
yeah,
Moreno has the best stats when starting in that position.
Yeah. Then
it's Jesus. Then it's Havertz, I think, and then Gyökeres, right? So and those are the four people that could play in that position. So he has a challenge in his hand, and he's got to become ruthless. He must become ruthless. As if you feel that certain guys are going to be in the team just because, he's not going to win. Pep Guardiola, at his time winning at City, if you're not playing, he puts you to sit down many games at a time too.
Yeah, I think Arteta is people he says a young coach. When you're in the Premier League for 6 years, you're no longer a young coach.
No, you're not.
You're not a young coach. You're not your season coach. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm concerned about my team, but we'll see what happens. I'm concerned about my team.
Do you want to repeat for me your attitude like we in school now? What's your position on corporate?
Corporate is great and coaching is great. Both corporate and coaching are great. Love it. All right, thanks. All right, people, more close on the program, people. First of all, because people say I beat Rudolph Speid. Me not beat Rudolph Speid, people. I'm not beating Rudolph Speid. I am here responding to it. People, they don't know, can't say me nothing. People send me stuff and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna look at them and say, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this. We're keeping Jamaica football alive because right now it's dying. By the way, Dr. Dan, I need to talk to you and Drew Ross, people. I'm gonna do a show this week on but I'm trying to get a show done on 2 topics, on 3 topics actually. One is on how do I put this? Use euphemism. Relationships between interracial relationships, Black men and Caucasian women. We'll have a conversation about that on both of my channels at the same time. That's one topic. Another topic is I want to talk to Dr. Dan about coming on and talking about some health matters. We're talking about diabetes and how preventative measures. So we want to talk about fitness and health. I think it's very, very important. And I think people in the Caribbean are getting more health conscious and more fitness conscious, which is really good because we eat poorly in the Caribbean. And 3 is maybe never gonna do it now and next week. I'm gonna talk about real estate actually. I'm gonna talk about real estate and investing in real estate as a topic for us to talk about at some point. Those of you who like that real estate business and early investors, that's another topic I want to talk about. So those 3 topics between now and next week, and I have the conversation. Dr. Dan, if you're not here, call me so we can have the conversation. But I promise not to talk about Rudolph Speid anymore tonight. I can't promise about tomorrow. No, I'm not really beating Speid. I'm just bringing things to fore where I'm trying to encourage him to think outside the box because right now he's in the box and he can't leave the box. Can't come on the man program and talk about discipline and focus as the main thing as to how you're going to execute your plan to get us to the World Cup. Yeah, those are two things you got to consider, but you got to do more. You got to do more than that. Let's catch up Dr. Dan, because I wanted the program this week. You have to do more than that. The whole focus thing and discipline thing, when you talk about big people. Yeah, it's important, especially people who won't misbehave, but we need a more comprehensive strategy that give us some comfort that we have a chance. Right now, when we hear talk, if we have no chance at all. If it does deal with discipline and focus and who committed and who passionate, that's not going to work. You have to come with something much more strategic about how you're going to think through what the plan is going to look like and the execution to try to overcome New Caledonia and Congo, because you don't get no beaten yet, you know. You don't get no beaten yet. A lot of people are talking about you get beaten. You don't get no beaten yet. You've been very lucky that there's still a small chance that we get to the World Cup. Good night. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Cranky.
We only have 5 minutes now, so the floor is yours.
Yeah. This is Fisherman.
I'm not a fisherman, but I have 5 minutes, fisherman. I have to run. I'm starving. No, I know you. I know your number.
Yeah, man. I was listening your topics. What your topic is? Is Mr. Speid is
he the savior or the disaster? One of the two. Savior is the savior?
No, I was looking at it, but I'm just still one part of the S.
No, it's savior or disaster. One of the two. Savior or disaster.
So I said savior. I was saying this is like a savior. Anyway.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is what is the objective here? Is as I thought this thing with Speid, it's gone in done get the coaching job and we have too much coming up. I thought we leave off of that now and try.
No. The question is he going to save us and get to the World Cup, or is he going to be a disaster and crash out? That was the question. That's him being.
I'm saying I thought we passed that stage already.
Are you going to pass the stage and we haven't got there yet? What do you mean? But that's the question. That's the question, which is.
But I think you asked was. I think you was on this topic.
No. You know what? I will join the program later and we have to argue. I'm reacting to the video that he did back with some person in Jamaica. It's a reaction video. He did an interview with a person. I was reacting to the video. That's all. I got it from people last week.
I think we're not do the petition already and gone to FIFA. I think.
Who do his petition?
Already.
Nobody go to FIFA. Nobody going to FIFA. Jamaica go nowhere.
Yeah, but then a petition. I don't think we don't have a petition out there. We're going to sign up to get
Uno a petition. Uno.
So
if me I deal with that, I go straight to FIFA. If me not do it, I go straight to FIFA and say, FIFA, this thing is wrong.
And then I hear you said no. He must ask some question and the interview. Because every time when him do an interview, he said the interviewer now ask the right question.
He wasn't.
Him then not asking the right question.
No. We said that, okay, not that we said, talk about what I said. I gave you examples of what questions should be asked. I don't just talk. I thought the question was asked and then I expound upon it and say, here's what I would ask. So when he was asked the conflicts question and he used the President of the United States as his example and he used the Prime Minister and this and he used this, I broke it down. You should go listen to it.
I was listening to you.
Okay, so what did I say? What did I say?
The thing is what I realized. Uno want him answer. Oh, no, that like. Uno want him answer the person. Oh, Uno, if I did that question him answer.
No, that's not true. So if I ask if I ask you a question, but I leave out half of the question. If I said your conflict is the chair of the technical committee and the national coach, the conflict is much bigger than that. It's not the right question. The man has about 7 different roles in play. I mean, you're asking about 2.
That is in your opinion.
What do you mean? It's not opinion. It's a fact. No. It's a fact. It's not opinion. Something factual can be just opinion. It's factual. It's not opinion.
Anyway, look.
No. Stay on that. Don't say anyway. It's not anyway. You're saying it's opinion about his conflict and the nature of the conflict. I'm telling you, it's a fact that he has like 7 roles that he plays. It's not opinion. It's a fact.
But the man call out is not anything where my hiding.
No. So the question that was asked was, you're a coach for national team and you're the technical committee, and he says he recused himself from the technical committee, that means the conflict is going away then, if you can recuse yourself, because you're not making a decision. The conflict is much broader than that. And he can't excuse himself from the conflict because he's still the coach of Cavaliers and he still owns Cavaliers. The conflict could still going to be there. It ain't going nowhere. So the question was incomplete.
The conflict is there, that no mean him going to act upon it. All the while, when the team, the thing is, I hear you say that again. Him say he was there to assist, not insist. And you say, you say, you have a problem with that. Remember, when I was there saying that he might pick the team.
Exactly. So he was insisting.
Before him even going in that position.
Yes.
When I say he might pick the team, he might pick player for himself. But
no, we say it's interfering. He's interfering. It's
not showing up. Because he win the Premier League, must say what, 2 or 3 times. And in the time when he win the league, he have must say 2. He come down to 1 player in the team. And all that time when I say I pick the team.
That's not true. That's not true. You're lying. It's not true. It's not true.
Come on, Cranky man. You know you're on every day, man. I say I'm
saying it's not true that you only had 1 player in the team. That's not true.
How much player am I having at the team?
On different occasions, he had different players in the team. He had. Wait. You're walking through it. You don't know Jamaica team. You know the Cavalier players. Them. You don't know them.
Who don't know Jamaica? I know. Look here. It's 3 players in a national. In a 3 players get called in the national team. In the national team. 3.
Okay.
Busy and him not staying at the team for no portion of time. Him just come in and go. The midfielder. Adrian Reid. Adrian Reid coming at the team.
So you went from 1. So you went from 1 to 3. Wait. No. Stop. No. Hold up. You just said there's only 1 player. You insisted it was only 1 player. All of a sudden, when I call you out, you don't say it's 3. Because you're not being genuine. You're being disingenuous.
Look here now, Cranky. I say it's only 1 player end up permanent in the national team. One player.
There's nobody permanent in the national team. No, the national team is at a permanent position. The national team is based on period. There's no permanent. There might be no permanent with the national team. Every window have a call up and play get called the national team. It's about no permanent thing.
Anyway. All I want to talking about, the man never did a pick no team. Him have 1 player in the national team and say the 1 player left. Get a contract in Scotland that you try and come and talk about. him go over Scotland in our team, and in first season him go over there. Him play a part in the team, winning a trophy. I mean, you're not come and talk about that. And then I talk about that. You know. The same player won't know against never fit in the team. Him go over, him get a contract, go in our team. And he play a big part tonight for them win a trophy.
Fisherman, I have a question for you. Are you the same like all callers who call this program? Are you and all those callers the same?
If me and the caller the same, like what are you talking about?
So the person just talked, Andre just called me, and what's his name just called me from Atlanta. Are you the same as they are? Should I just say uno caller? That's what I should say, uno caller. All I see. That's what I should say.
The caller them were against Mr. Speid and talking about him and I put player in a team. And the man we have them YouTube channel we come here and attack them stuff there. And I say the 1 player we get a permanent place in we playing at the team for this. How much years now? Couple years in the team. He get a contract. And him, if it was phone apart alone, he wouldn't know when you're the squad.
So you're saying I have said King should be the team and he's not good. And we should have, they're on the team. That's what you're saying. I've said.
Not you alone.
So you're saying I have said. So must sue you for defamation. Must sue you for defamation.
Well, you can't sue me because I mean I have nothing to you yet.
No, me sue you for defamation because you tell lie for me. The couple program tell lie for me, my you. The come and tell lie for me program. No. But fisherman, I'll cut you off into that. Don't come here and make statements and then you want to run to something else because when you get called out. You just say I 1 play national team, you say I 3. You say me no one kicking at the team, and then we call out. You jump to something else. Don't do that, my you. Don't do that. Stay with the facts. Let it work itself out. Then go to the next thing. When you get called out, don't run to the next thing. Substantiate your points.
I am saying, if you want to go back to what I was saying about calling how much pain. As I said, the Mr. Speid coaching Cavaliers. We win the tie. Cavaliers win the tie. I think it's 3 times since him get relegated. He come back to the national team and him win the 3 times. Win the Caribbean Cup once, and you have 3 players that get called in the national team. 2 of them wasn't spend no time in the national team. Them just come in and come out. You have one we spend about 3 or 4 years in the national team now.
Right.
And he get a contract, go over and him go overseas. Go in at the team, he never go there as a bench warmer. When him go there, him go straight in at the team. And now he win a trophy yesterday. The team win a trophy and he play a part in there. And I'm gonna ask you something. Did you come on and say anything about that?
I'm sure I didn't. I'm sure I didn't mention it at all throughout this program. I'm sure I didn't mention it at all. I'm positive I didn't mention it. How could I have mentioned that? It's not positive. It's not possible. I didn't mention it at all.
You didn't mention it at all.
I'm sure I didn't. I'm sure because what you're saying, I didn't mention it at all.
I don't know that I didn't watch it from the start. That's why I asked you. Did you mention it?
I think somebody mentioned it and I mentioned it too and say congrats. I think so. I think so. I think I come to this program and said I like King. I think when I saw King saying there was a talk about how well he passed. I think I get beaten for mentioning King, complimenting King a number of times. I think I've also said that all the players in the team who failed to go to the World Cup, none of them should be in the team. I think I've said that also. So wait. So Fisherman, when you come and talk about Uno, as if all YouTubers are the same, when you talk about Uno this and Uno that, Uno disrespect, because
90% down. Listen all the while.
But I ask you about 90%. Callers like yourself, and you don't want to be classified with everybody as Uno. So why are you doing the same thing? You don't want to be put in a bucket and classified as Uno. Call out people individually for what they have talked about, but don't use that generic term as if everybody's in the same bucket, because they're not. We're all different.
Yeah, all right. Me I'll call you.
So call me up on something. What you call me up on?
Me I'll call you. Mr. Speid said, I hear you saying, Mr. Speid talking about discipline and
discipline and focus. Discipline and focus. Focus on discipline.
Discipline and focus.
Yes.
And you say, I know that him fear talk about. Him fear call the player them and talk to the player them.
I said he has to focus on, let me just reposition what you're saying. Okay, you get very granular. People management, man management, relationships are an imperative when you're at that level and you're trying to manage people. And be ego. When you talk about discipline and authoritarianism, yeah, sure she had a boss and then you run things. You only have 2 games and 2 days to get to know people. You can't do that. That's not what your main focus is. Your main focus is going to be, how do I create an environment where people feel like they're one, the oneness is created, they feel like they're unbeatable, they feel like they'll run through the wall for another, they're going to play for me, they want to embrace me, I'm going to embrace them, I'm going to reach out to them, I'm going to do whatever is necessary to make sure we have a cohesive team to go play 2 games where one team you know is probably better than me man for man, and I have to make sure the cohesiveness and the chemistry works so we can win the game. I'm not going to come up, I'm disciplinarian and I'm focused and that's the only thing I'm doing. What? I'm trying to lead men?
So Mr. Cranky.
Yeah.
I'm doing an interview. You think him going to lay out every striking thing in the interview, what him going to do?
What I just talk about are basic fundamental things. They're not on the list of everything. You're tying into who you are and about how you operate. That you run. This is not Cavaliers with a beauty team, a baby team you try to manage. These are big, grown professionals who got to be treated a certain way.
Cranky.
Yeah.
You just said those are basic things. So what you want to tell me? You, as a man who run a YouTube channel, you're not a coach. Mr. Speid is a coach. So you think Mr. Speid don't know that? Same if you go call the player them, talk to them have 2 games to play.
I have never heard him say that. In all interview I've done, he's done. No, stop. He's done 3 interviews. He's never talked about management and engaging with players and reaching out to players and bringing them. He's never talked about any of that. He talked about being focused and disciplined and has to be his way and him, I think, committed. That's all he talk about. Him now talk about the other soft skills that are necessary to bring people together. Don't give me that nonsense. Him have 3 interviews. Him have 3 interviews. We talk about this in the talk about no time. No time did he talk about it.
me ask you, say, if Mr. Speid have to come in and interview them and tell you everything what I'm going to do.
That's not a strategy. Wait, let me just say this something. That's not a game strategy that I'm going to be keeping undercover and keeping covert. That's not a game strategy.
But I never tell you that is a strategy. It has to be a strategy. That is basic. You have 2 games to play. You must, the time we have now, you must try to get the player them, talk to the player them how important the game is and what we have to go do to win the game. You don't think him and go do that? You think him just
no, I don't think no. I haven't heard. Let me say something. Fisherman. You can tell how a person is and how they manage by how you see them operate over a certain period of time. You get enough evidence and information to inform your view that, you know what, this is who they are and it's how they operate.
The thing is, Mr. Cranky, we don't up in our feelings already. So
in terms of what? You mean, yeah, we're not feelings because we don't get the World Cup. Of course, we don't have feelings. Yes, we don't make the World Cup. In a soup zone. We don't make the World Cup. We don't have feelings, yes? Of course. We fail. And rewarding failure. You know what you're talking about, of course.
You're not up in our feelings. So some basic things, you up on YouTube and you know that. But Mr. Speid, there's a coach, I don't know that. Same if you go talk to the player them. Sit down with the player them and read.
What do you mean up on YouTube? What does that mean? What do you mean up on YouTube? What does that mean? What are you trying to say? Me not no sense?
Yeah, because you come on YouTube, it's not a coach. Know all of the things there, but the coach they don't know that. The coach don't know none of them something there. Don't know about the coach don't know.
I'm just going off for what the man said. That's all I'm doing.
Basic thing. Trying to come lay out everything per interview. Mr. Speid now, get the team. He might just call up 23 players. Yeah, what to do? We have match such and such a day. Only just come in. Me not say not to them. Me not talk to them. And we don't just go.
I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example what's not leadership. Here's what not leadership. I said to you, are you gonna bring in 2 players who play for another person? Your thing is that person never beat me. Them this and them that. You don't take as a leader, you don't say, you know what? Simple response. I'm going to get the best players available, regardless of their affiliation, to come play for the national team. Period. You have to hear about who you beat from, who you not beat from, who you beat. That's not leadership. That's bragging.
He didn't say that.
What?
He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
He never said what?
He's going to bring in, no matter who you is, where you, bring in.
What did he preface the conversation by saying? What did he preface it by saying?
Look here, Jen, come on.
Answer the question. Which fisherman? These people, I gotta go. Fisherman is just annoying there, lad me. I'm gonna go. I asked you a question. You don't want to answer the question. What did he preface the question? Fisherman. What was his initial response to the question?
Let me talk now.
Okay.
The gentleman asked him about it. Butler was saying a lot of things out there, and the man asked him. And the man say, yeah, what? Him can't talk. Him never beat me in no competition yet. Me put it in my way. Him never beat me in no, so him can talk anything when he want to talk. And then the man
the question was about the players who played for that person. The question wasn't about that person himself and their situation that they have. It was about the player, and is that going to be a roadblock because they are affiliated with that person? All you have to say was this, which is, I am objective. I am impartial when it comes to player selection. I'm going to say the best players, regardless of their affiliation. And you're done, you move on.
He didn't say that.
He said it way, you missing him. Fisherman, stop acting like you're daft, man, you.
Yeah, man, I know because you're saying shouldn't say the man beat him. Him beat him, the man never beat him. Him said that. He said that.
He personalized the conversation. But it gives you a reflection of the person. That's what you seem to be missing.
I listen to you talk.
Yeah.
You seem like a person who carry things to your grave, you know. You know, let go of a thing. You seem like somebody who carry things to your grave. So everybody.
I think we all gotta bring things to our grave. I think we all gotta take things to our grave.
You see the thing is when we don't in the position, you know, we criticize the person in the position. When we find ourselves in a position like that, sometimes we end up we do worse. That is what we do, you know. We criticize when somebody in our position. When we get the position, sometimes somebody we even want the position.
Okay, so can I respond? Can I respond? So people, what Fisherman is doing is talking about himself. What he's saying is that he's criticizing the host because he's not in the position I'm in. But if he's in this position, he'd be sensitive. But now he's criticizing me because this is how we fit this thing. He's criticizing me for wait, let me finish. For having an opinion. The same thing he's saying I'm doing is what he's doing right now with me. Same thing. Same thing.
Are you sensitive? Anybody I hear you get up every day calling Miss Penny in the shot, man. First thing me ask you, you ever see the Maverick yet in person?
Yes, I've seen him in person more than once, by the way.
And he was a shot man?
I call him a liquor shot man. Liquor shot man, it could be figurative in my youth. It's a figurative thing, you know. Actually, it's not. Here's what you're missing in the language. It could be a figurative thing, you know.
Oh, so I thought because every time when I hear you say shot man, I'm saying
I have seen him more than once in person. Yes.
You know, so. Oh yeah, try.
Fisher might get stumped, people. Fisher might get stumped.
I was wondering every time I hear. I wonder if you ever seen before in person. That's
I've seen him. And they see people always around him. People around him too. In fact, I see him in that June. I go see him in that June. He was there in June in stadium. I never talk to him. But I see him.
Cranky ever see Maverick in person?
I've seen him when I was in Jamaica in June. I went to National Stadium. I broadcast the game, and he was there.
He doesn't take a job at him. Oh,
if the man insult me, I have insult him back.
Oh, you see me. I try to tell you, say you know, they go off for nothing. You know, they go off for nothing.
But I'm in the critic business. I'm in the criticism business. Rudolph Speid. So you agree with everything that the Gen Sex said about the foreign-born players? You agree with that? Huh?
Remember, me talk to you. Where do me tell you? Say, look here. You see, after this campaign, if we fail, we start all over by develop the football in the country.
Who developed football? Who developed the football? Who developed the football?
Some ballers. We're done in the system already, like the young players like Lambekeezy and them, the Campbells, those guys, them young and them come and them put themselves in the position. You can't just face them all.
Right.
But you see those anybody will over put it said 25. Anybody will over 25.
Yeah.
We them out of the team. We them out.
So, are you going to weed out the locally born players over 25 too?
Anybody, we are start over, we are weed out.
No, answer Fisherman. I hate when you do that. Answer the question. Are you going to weed out locally born players who are playing overseas?
Yes.
And the ones who are in Jamaica too? Everybody over 25, period.
Okay. You see, when we start build the team, and we are doing the foundation of the team must local born. That's my thing. The foundation of the team, local born.
Regardless of their ability?
Any player where we bring in here, if them cannot make a difference when them come here, because we have been doing this thing where we're picking up this whole lot of player come here and it not improving the football now improve. It not improving. So we have to go start over. We have to go do something different. It not work. It might work for some other country, but it's not working for Jamaica. It not work.
So you believe the locally born players. Now, are these locally born players locally based or overseas based?
Why I have to go over this again? When we say local born player, I say listen what I say, Mr. Cranky.
Okay, so it's not ability. It's not so the play. If I'm 25 and I'm a Jamaican citizen, I got my passport, and I'm better than the players that you have, but it hasn't worked in the past, and I'm 26. You're saying I should not be I should not be called a part of the national team. So I should be discriminated against. Is what you're saying?
Look here. Because we always attack like most of the players. Then when we go for them, you know, and we are on them, you know, and them really want to come play for the country, you know. Because have this thing attack all the players. They want to play for Jamaica. They want to play for Jamaica, and that is far from the truth as far as Jamaica is concerned. Far from the truth.
Right.
And we are go for them. We must stop run down players. Stop run them down. Stop and go all the way. Just like when we run down Greenwood say, yeah, when I play for Jamaica, I still want to play for England. And we are
Greenwood said that? Greenwood said that?
We must stop it.
Greenwood said that?
If Greenwood say, if him not want to play for Jamaica,
yeah.
Then if they call up, we in a World Cup campaign and then call him how much time? And he not turn up. Him turn on the card, then what that signify to you?
Did he say he doesn't want to play for Jamaica? You heard him say that? I'm just going to get clarity about what you've heard and what you know.
I'm going after him action. That is what I'm going after.
But he never said it. But you think silence mean he doesn't want to play, right?
You know, so what you know, we know easy, you know. You think we easy?
Because you just say want to play for England. How you know he want to play for England? How you know he want to play for England?
My position is they must not. I mean, your speed say if them are go up on the plane. If we not qualify, he might talk now still. If we not qualify, you see the next trip, nobody, no fi call Greenwood. They no fi call him. No bother with them.
So people, I know you said you guys. The reason I'm entertaining Fisherman because Fisherman is like a lot of people who live in Jamaica and their perception. That's why it's very important for that to come out, the bias to come out, because Fishermen believe that let me finish. The only citizens are those who live in Jamaica, who are Jamaican, or those who are born in Jamaica or live in Jamaica. They are the only citizens of Jamaica. Everybody else should go away, as them say, Jamaica. Anybody else should go away because the only people in Jamaica.
Overseas, whether them born overseas, any country, if they're not showing no interest like them want to represent the country, nobody run them. And if the country approach them and them say no, don't go back or ask them nothing.
But that's not what you're saying earlier. You were saying earlier that if they over 25 after this campaign we get to the World Cup, we should not pursue any overseas players. And if they come, it should be dominated by locally born players. So we should have the overseas players in the team. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Anytime I look on the field, I want to see most born Jamaican on the football field.
Okay.
That I want to see. Most born Jamaican footballer on the football field. That I want to see.
And people, that's his prerogative, people. He's like the person running the United States. He only wants to see Caucasian in the country. So look at things that we come early.
Yeah. Put it the way any way you want to put it.
But it's true. But I'm not putting it the way you're putting it. What do you mean?
Want to see. When we look on the national team, that's why the people, you notice the crowd, they don't go out when we reach to a point where it look like because people lost the identity of the team. They're not familiar with the team. So that's why the support of the country, it's less.
So it's not like Curacao where they support the 11 players who were born overseas and come play for the national team. It's not like that. We only focus on those who play high school football and are not good enough to compete on the world level. But we want those to play for the national team.
But the player then we are coming are good enough. Mr. Cranky, I make it sound like say we are some player come here good enough. Then good enough.
They're better than the ones that are local. They're better than the local ones. A lot of them. They're better than some of the local ones. They're better than some of the local ones. That's why if they weren't better, they wouldn't be in the team.
Look here. Mr. Cranky.
If they weren't better, they would be the team.
And I'm going to tell you again.
Yeah.
Before these influx of players come here, team what we have beat, team. We not dominate, not team, where we never used to dominate before, then come here. We're not doing it. We are not doing no better than when the players them are coming here now make we dominate US, then now make we dominate Mexico. We used to beat Mexico now and then United States now, and that is what we're doing now.
Okay.
The Caribbean team where we used to trash. No, we even not struggle to beat them. So what the improvement we're not talking about? If these guys who come here and make the team better, they make the team better. We get the
apparently not. Apparently from where you sit, apparently not.
No, me ask you.
I think they made the big team better. I think Pinnock makes the team better. I think Aid makes the team better. Of course, they made the team better.
Tell me now which way.
This year, 2 years. Let me tell you something. The team has gone through a very difficult period because 2 years ago or 3 years ago, we went to the Gold Cup. We were a dominant football team, dominant except for the probably top 3 teams in the region. When we went to the Nations League and we beat Panama for 3rd place, we were playing very good football. But then the coach fired us because the JFF interfered and the coach can't deal with them. That's part of the problem. What you don't seem to get. The administration is part of the problem. We had a coach who got us to the Nation League. We almost beat the US, a buck-up goal them score. We'd have gone to the final and maybe even won the Nations League. That was doing well, and that was we beat Panama, we beat Canada. What are you talking about?
Cranky.
Yeah.
No, I said to you again. We not dominate none of the team them where we never used to dominate before we start bringing this influx of English-born players. We are not. We are no. We not even dominate Caribbean team. We are struggle to beat some Caribbean team where we used to run over. We are struggle to beat them. We are struggling to beat them. I hear you talk about we rank the JPL rank 10th and the Guatemala. We used to run over Guatemala. We usually run over Guatemala.
So maybe we wait, back up. Good example. Maybe we have regressed. Maybe we have regressed as a country versus just take out the local overseas players. Maybe the country has regressed from where we were before. Because we still have a bunch of players playing in the MLS. They ain't there anymore. MLS ain't taking the Jamaica players anymore as a ground to help develop those players who may have raw material. So when you talk about being 10th in the region, it's not a good thing, you know. It's horrible. It's a JPL, a Bush League.
But you see, the thing is, you know, when me can tell you, if me pick a 11, if I did have if we never had no Englishman and we go for Gold Cup with you, me almost tell you, say, if we did pick all our players we have all over the place to play and go Gold Cup, we never get knocked out of the first round. Never get knocked out of the first round.
Look, I mean, we can't determine whether that's true or not because that didn't happen, so we don't know. Right? You can suppose all you want, but if we had everybody fit, if we had Bailey fit, and we had Gray fit, and we have Antonio fit, then who knows? We wouldn't do better because when those three were playing up front, we were doing really well, and all of a sudden,
what Antonio do? What does Antonio bring to the national team?
So he does. He's not a prolific goal scorer. Wait, he's not a prolific goal scorer, but sometimes a player creates this. You wouldn't understand that, but let me just explain to you. Create mismatches, create situations. We're not create situations. Maybe might allow Cephas to get 1-on-1 versus 1 versus 2, for example. Maybe his presence creates situations where the defense has to focus on him. Anyway, me have to leave you because somebody's calling me. You get long. A good night. Good night. Last caller for the evening. Supposed to last caller 10 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago. Good night, sir.
Good evening, Cranky, sir.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. I won't keep much of your time. The gentleman before brought up a point and I wanted to kind of opine on it. And he was saying that we were dominating teams before. I know we can't dominate teams.
No, he misspoke. We weren't dominating teams. We were competing. We weren't dominating teams.
I know what he was trying to allude to, but one of the things I wanted to bring to his attention, when Hal Grimson was here, even though when Hal Grimson left, we were all upset and we didn't like the way it went about the business. To your point, Al Grimson had us playing really good football. You know, whenever we faced teams that were very good, so like the US or Mexico, he had a low block of 5. And then therefore it wasn't really great football. But he did not overcommit himself. McLaren came in and he was influenced heavily by whomever. I won't say the administration. And he put in more local born players because of what the people were asking for. In what league does Cephas start over Damari Gray? Outside of Jamaica.
In Jamaica, yeah. I can't answer that question.
Right. Outside of Jamaican football, where does Cephas start over Damari Gray? That you're putting Damari Gray in positions that he's not really good at, in the center of the field, playing the number 10. That is not his role. When Damari was on the left and what's his name, who's injured all the time, is always on the right.
Bailey was on the right, yeah.
Yeah, Bailey on the right. Other than Bailey falling down every 5 minutes, it was a good cohesion with Mikel Antonio in the center.
Yeah, it was good. Mikel didn't score a lot of goals, but it was a good cohesion. They did put pressure on teams.
He put pressure on teams because you had to cover his strength, his speed. Casey Palmer again, then he had Casey Palmer 1 week. And then sometimes he dominates the poorer teams. But Al Grimson was not picking a team based upon his football knowledge. He was picking a team based upon how Jamaicans felt about the team and putting local player. And a lot
you mean McLaren? You mean McLaren?
Yeah, McLaren. Yes, sorry. McLaren failed at being a coach.
Yeah, I think McLaren was trying to be a politician and it didn't work.
And then we're saying, listen. In all due respect, football has evolved. And the Caribbean countries that we used to beat upon are now investing and doing the same thing that we are doing because they see the success. So how is it that we cannot see that we have to have a succession plan? All right, I was thinking about this.
Yeah, but before you go further, I think when we talk about Caribbean, we got to be very careful because everybody's recruiting overseas-based players, right? Curacao, when we talk about beat up team in the Caribbean, Curacao don't have any Caribbean players and them starting team that played against us. There's no Caribbean, quote-unquote, players in the traditional sense in the team. They're Caribbean heritage players, but their entire team came from Holland. So when you say we used to beat up Caribbean team, when they were more localized players, the things have changed. We play St. Vincent, they had overseas-based players in their team. We play Bermuda, the same thing.
Yeah, but we are looking at the name of, because most of the time, the reason why them always have said the zone was a soup zone is because you're looking at the name of the team and you're living in the past. You're not looking at where football is today. Even Bermuda, as much as Bermuda team was not good, a lot of their players play in foreign leagues. Yeah. They may not play at the highest threshold, but they're playing in foreign leagues.
Yeah.
And sometimes as Jamaicans, we need to talk to other Caribbean countries, not just the ones in what we like, but talk to the Haitians, talk to Bermudians, talk to people from Trinidad to get a different perspective, because we're looking at these teams as if people are sitting at home and go, oh, we're going to do our thing. It doesn't work anymore.
No, everybody. I mean, see, Trinidad changed their laws to bring in players who are more than one generation removed from, yeah. So everybody changing laws to get better players, and we're going the opposite direction.
Right, and it's this notion that, oh, we fast. So to all the people, and I'm not picking on Cephas, but I do pay attention to him quite a bit. Cephas is very fast, and when he put his head down and the team them don't scout for him properly, yes, he will run around you, and that is great. But when you're playing teams who are scouting you, they know that he has no other move than kicking the ball along and outrunning you. And if you watch the Bermuda game in Jamaica, they were overlapping and every time he pick up the ball, there was two people on the wing taking him out. Or they'll body him and then he gets frustrated and he doesn't have the...
You mean the Curacao game?
Yeah, the Curacao game. They bodied him, they pushed him, they gave him a hard time and he was frustrated. Trinidad did the same thing, but because he scored, we overlooked the inefficiency that he did all game. And that's what people tend to do. We cherry pick in Jamaica. We like, if the man score a goal, we forget the 90 minutes that he didn't do nothing on the field. If Whisper come on, and I hate to sound like I'm picking on players, because sometimes Bobby Reed get good goal and didn't score them. But if Whisper come on and plat over the ball 2 times and kick a shot, goal. That's not how football works, but it works for us because as we work off a name recognition, and because we know the name, so I feel we boy. All right, think about this, right? And I was thinking about this the other day. In the dancehall space, of all the musical sound system that has come and gone over the years, I think there is only 3 sounds that understand the succession planning that are still around: the Stone Loves of the world, the Bass Odysseys of the world, because the owner say, listen, we have to have multiple guys and we have to keep training them and teach them how to do the business so the sound system lasts longer and longer. The people who want to keep praises and do it the way they used to do it, those things fade away. And if we don't adapt to the time, we're going to fade away. And
yeah, look, I think one of the reasons why people complain about us folks on the JFF and Rudolph is I'm not sure they fully understand that it's about leadership. You don't have the right leaders in the right place, doing the right things, you're not going to have good outcomes. And so when we're complaining about conflicts or we're complaining about the president not being a strong leader and exhibiting those qualities, we're complaining about Rudolph performing 101 roles, it shows that there's either deficiencies in the skill sets that's required to run the administration, or we're in a party shop. And the party shop now work well because the football is not improving.
Hello, sir. The party shops of America run very well.
Yeah, that's true.
Royal Caribbean and Golden Cross run very well. So don't disrespect the people in party shop.
Yeah. But we're not gonna shop for call it because it's not working. I mean, we talk about, we still ask the question, which is this. So we have named all these local football coaches. It's kind of interesting that we're all named at the same time, right after we didn't qualify automatically. But what we still haven't heard is who's the technical director? Who's the technical director for Jamaica football? Who's the technical director for Jamaica football?
I don't know. Do you?
But I know Downswell was supposed to be, but then he's now coaching the under 17, and he's assistant for the under 20. So who's the coach? Who's overseeing the football for the island?
I don't know. But let's say this: they did announce all of these local-based players, local-based coaches to run the team, right? So the question now becomes: since you have picked all, what is the 5-year plan? You have already picked these guys to run the team. What is the 5-year succession plan? So if we go and we fail to qualify in these 2 games, God forbid, and we don't qualify, what is the next step? You can put all the local coaches in, but how do we measure where they're at in 2 years? How do we measure what the goal is for the next 4 years? Because after this cycle, you lose Ethan Pinnock, you lose Bobby Reed, you lose all of these older national team players, because the next cycle, they maybe get to another Gold Cup, but other than that, they won't be around for the next World Cup cycle. What is the succession planning to make sure, since you guys all want local-based players or locally born?
But it was funny. It was funny. So we're saying we should focus on local players. What stopped you from doing that before? What stopped you from focusing on local players? There's a difference between I'm going to focus on local players to improve them, get them to the right level, or I'm going to put local players who are not qualified to be the national team. That's 2 different things, you know. And if you weren't focused on local players, developing them, why weren't you doing that? What stopped you? Can't be the overseas-based players because you're not supporting them overseas. You're not giving them any money. You're not giving them support. You're not even engaging with them. So what are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree. And to your earlier point, if our league, and I'm not knocking our league, if the local league was so good, why don't we have a lot more of our players playing in the MLS? Or because they are not just level 2. Why not MLS the main level? Because they should be poaching our players left, right, and center. But every time we send them over, if the idea is just to get them transferred out, and then you collect our money, and that's one time you eat the food, then I guess we're winning in that sense, because every time our players go overseas, in 2 years they're back on the islands or shuffle around. No team wants to pick them up, and they're just bouncing all over the place.
Yeah.
Even for how great our high school our schoolboy football is, how come we don't have more kids going into college system in the US or even next pro in the MLS, because they're our league, our schoolboy is that good. We have one of the reasons they like to point to track and field. A good 70% of the kids that run track and field in the US for colleges. So they're constantly getting good training. How do we want to cherry pick what's good and what's not? Make it make sense.
Paul Edwards said the football in Jamaica is improving. Paul Edwards is a coach also.
How does Paul listen? One of the great things about Knockins and MG to plug them, they're showing you the game. If you sit and watch, you have to ask that question. There is nothing not being shown on from the regular home, from back home. Even the high school football, you can see it. What is Paul Edwards watching? Do we need to put that prescription for him so he can get good glasses? Why am I watch?
Yeah.
The kids are learning, but they're not at the level. Listen, at the pro level right now, kids are breaking in at 16 and 17. They're sitting on the bench of Premier League teams. What's our measuring stick? Are we delusional? And when we call it out, then we're being told, "Oh, we're not just like local-based player." Make it make sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Anyway, so I appreciate the call.
It's unexplainable.
Yeah, man, I appreciate the call. All right, people.
Man, have a great evening.
Yeah, man, you too. All right, people. It's been 3 hours. I'm out. Fisherman, CB, everybody will call people. Andre, the works. Thanks for calling. Langs the Vic. Not taking any more calls. We're done for the evening. Langs the Vic. Can't take a call. Langs. Cannot take the call. We're done. Tired people. Can't take the call, people. Sorry. We're too long. Gotta go. I have to go. I'm over my time. Next time, so have a good night, everybody. I appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. Sorry about that caller, but I can't take the call now. We're done for the night. 3 hours, tired. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Peace out. Be good.